Hello, and welcome to Culture Shock, the pop culture podcast brought to you by four aging millennials and our outdated opinions. I'm your host, Doug, and today with me is...
Hey, this is Adrian, and I'm still wearing my 3D glasses from Avatar.
When we are so quick to anger, we are so slow to understand. I'm Corey.
Just wave and smile. I'm Mike.
What if we took all of 2022's movies and put them on a bagel? All right, so if you didn't catch from our intro, which you probably didn't, because
That
you'd
would
be
be
a
fair.
fucking god if you could do that. We're going to talk about just all the movies that we've seen or wanted to see or didn't like from 2022. I'm just going to go ahead and say this now. I think 2022 was like one of the best years for movies in probably the last decade.
It was a great fucking year for movies.
100% agree.
Started strong, ended strong. I'll just preface this right now. I don't see a lot of movies. I didn't get to see a lot of movies in 2022, especially because I was working third shift most of it, and then other personal issues and stuff. So I didn't have an opportunity to go see as much as I would have liked to see.
Mike, Adrian, do either of you have a violin you could play real quick for Doug?
See, I'm not sad though.
Oh, wait.
'cause I don't really watch a lot of movies to begin with. So.
I think I was playing Careless Whisper.
Yeah, that's
You
what
were.
it was.
That's not a violin at all.
That would be a saxophone. Wow.
Like lost it. You look dumb on your own joke. I'm going to keep that pause in. That would be
Mike paused himself.
Where was I? Oh yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, basically, I don't see a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna be mostly asking these guys stuff and sharing on the ones that I know about.
Okay, let's start with
It
this.
doesn't matter because the two best movies of the year I got to see. So
Let's start with this. We'll go across the board. Corey, what is the most recent movie you saw?
I just watched The Unbearable Weight of
Yes.
Massive
Massive Talent.
that's one I'm sad I didn't get
And
to.
Jesus Christ, is it one of the best movies I watched all year.
It's really
It's
good.
so good.
Mike, did you watch it?
I didn't get a chance.
Oh, God
Oh
damn
my
it.
God. Only two of us know the greatness.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about it here. Okay, so it was Nick Cage. I know that much, and it was
Pedro
that one guy, Pedro Pascal. Yeah, it looked really interesting from the trailers, like
It's
because
so
Nick
good.
Cage is playing himself, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it like an exaggerated version of what
No,
people think he is? Or just
absolutely
himself?
not.
Okay.
It actually references quite a few movies he was in throughout the movie. So you know he's Nick Cage. They keep calling him Nick. Nobody calls him really Nicolas Cage. A couple people I think might, but most people call him Nick Cage. That's why I thought he was supposed to be somebody different. But
His agent is Barney Stinson,
yeah.
Oh, really?
Man.
Oh yeah.
known to commoners as Neil Patrick Harris.
Converse.
I like peasant. You fucking peasants.
Or to our 45 to 60-year-old viewers, Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
MD.
Yeah, to give you a vibe for the movie, it pretty much opens on a scene from Con Air. Like it's like you're just watching
does.
Con Air, but then the camera pulls back and it's clearly just people watching the movie, and it shows them and they're like, "I fucking love Con Air."
So
The same conversation we have when we talk about Connor.
Jesus Christ, and the hair is flowing in the wind and everything.
Mm.
Let me take a guess here because I think I remember what this movie is about.
Yeah.
Basically, he becomes friends with Pedro Pascal, who's like in shady dealings, and he gets close enough to him, but then they try to set him up to try to like catch him doing something, but they find out.
That's a person who didn't see the movie describing it decently. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a decent job. So the first act of the movie is like Nick Cage is auditioning for this big part in a movie. He's kind of been down on his luck with movies.
No.
Not to real life.
Yeah, this is nothing like real life Nicolas Cage.
He's
But,
never been down.
Hi, fucking yeah. But so Nicolas Cage auditions for this director like out in the middle of a fucking public cafe. Like he's just yelling his lines at the director, and all these people are looking around. He's making a fucking big scene, but he's just being dramatic like Nick Cage, and he's sure he gets this part. Obviously, he gets a call. He doesn't get it. So like a last attempt bid to clear out his debts, he gets offered $1 million just to go to this birthday party from a super fan.
That's Pedro Pascal. So he's not friends with him. but he
Yeah.
gets paid to come to his birthday party.
Yeah. So he goes to this island, meets this guy, and just the bromance. Like, it's one of the best bromance movies I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely, their chemistry is amazing
Yeah, it's
together,
so good.
and I really hope they do something together.
Yeah.
Is this based off a true story?
No, no. When you see it, you're gonna know how ridiculous that question was.
Okay.
There's so many really funny moments, but I want you guys to watch the movie, so I don't want to, like... There's just, there's a scene where they trip together. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
When
he's trying to
he's
get over the wall.
climbing the wall. I've got you.
I mean, don't worry. I think we have to accept that this is going to be spoiler zone.
We have to sit. They look at the two guys sitting over the bench, and they go, "There they are." And they run away again.
Are they staring at
It's
us?
so fucking good. It's so fucking good.
Real quick, I'm accepting spoilers for this episode. It's a special episode, so don't hold back. Here, 1 second. Everybody shut up for a second. Spoiler warning. We will be talking about all kinds of recent movies from the year 2022. If you haven't seen them, you're going to be spoiled, and fuck you if you stay.
Well, that started
Keep
out
that
sincere
part.
and got really bad.
that was fine.
That's fine.
I've accepted I'm getting shit spoiled today, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's nothing really you guys could talk about that I haven't seen that you'd spoil for me. No, I don't think so. I have a list of things I also didn't see, and none of them I care if I get spoiled.
Yeah,
so.
Mike, if you don't want spoiled for everything ever all at once, you're going to have to cover your ears or something because we're not skipping over that one.
You guys know I don't care about spoilers.
We could spoil
Okay.
every a part of that movie, and he still won't see it coming.
Yeah, I
It doesn't
know.
matter.
The
I'm
hot
going to
dog
watch
fingers.
it.
It wouldn't. That isn't what he meant, Mike.
No, we
Oh.
could tell you every single
Oh.
scene of that movie. You'll still be
Well,
surprised by stuff.
The one
Oh,
time,
yeah.
the one time when Adrian, Doug, and I were talking, I was looking at the cast and I saw it was like Confetti Man,
Uh huh.
and they're like,
He's a that is a character.
and you guys are like, boy, was he? And I was like,
Yes, he was.
Oh god.
He got fucking tombstone. I think.
Yeah, he did. That was fucking sick.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah, but the Unbearable Weight, it plays on the Nick Cage meta so well that it's like he's totally fine poking fun at himself. It still honors his movie history, but he's totally fine admitting that he's fucking over the top and just ridiculous.
He's done one.
And-
He's seen his own freak out montage.
Yeah, exactly. He's seen his own YouTube montage.
One of the best parts of the movie is every time he's starting to think that maybe he's taken the acting a little too seriously, a younger version of himself in a leather jacket shows up and starts smacking him around and tells him that he needs to focus on his career, and he does the yelling like, "You're Nick fucking Cage,"
Oh my
doing
god.
the old Nick Cage stuff, and it
When
just
he
gets him back into the acting.
He holds that fucking for like 30. He's like,
it's
Nick
long.
fucking.
Who would have thought that in 1996's Mortal Kombat, the character Johnny Cage would perfectly portray a real life person 20 years from now?
Named Cage too.
2 notes. Mortal Kombat's 95, and also check out our Annihilation episode.
Oh shit, my bad. I thought it was 96.
so what you're saying is that Nicolas Cage realizing, how bad his career has turned out,
Bad.
is just like,
It's not bad.
Why did you say bad?
I'm talking about his movies, like the last couple movies he's done
Wow.
before that one.
I was gonna say he did the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I just don't understand.
Do you not understand the
this.
title? Like,
So,
I'm not-
so he's self-aware of him doing all of these bad movies,
Yeah.
wow, you're doubling
Okay.
down on that.
and he is self-aware in the same way that Nickelback's self-aware that they suck.
Except Nickelback actually sucks.
Right. I'm just saying they're both that movie's him being self-aware of his bad.
Quit saying
movies
that
in the
Nicolas
last-
Cage is bad, or I will come to your house.
I'm not saying Nicolas Cage is bad. I'm saying the movies he has partaken in have been bad in the last
He
10
has
years.
a lot of say on those movies.
He does.
So to insult
Well-
his movies is to insult Nicholas.
Hey, Nick's gonna be a fucking vampire in 2023. Okay,
That's right.
That movie is going to suck. Anyway,
I see what you did there.
There's a movie in theaters right now with Nick Cage where he's a cowboy. It's a western.
That's true.
Absolutely.
oh
That is
boy.
very true.
All right.
See, Doug, the way you're saying that just proves that you agree with me that he's had a lot of bad movies in the last 10 years.
I mean, I've openly said I think most of Nick Cage's movies are hot garbage. But
Personally, I love a lot of Nick Cage movies.
I need
I
to
love
go.
like
I need to go
3
take a
Nick
steam.
Cage movies.
the 90s and early 2000s Nick Cage movies are amazing.
No, but okay.
I totally agree with that sentence.
His remake for Gone in 60 Seconds was shit compared to the original.
I never saw the original, so I have nothing to compare
The
it to.
Declaration of Independence sailing movies are boring as fuck.
How dare you?
Lord of War was incredible. That's just a top level movie.
It was good.
Wicker Man's hilarious.
And it's not supposed to be.
But it's not supposed to be. Con Air is pretty okay.
What about Face Off?
That movie's hilarious, and it's not supposed to be. He was on The Rock, right?
Yes.
He was in that movie I think is actually better than Con Air, personally.
As a movie, yes, it's better than Con Air. But I've watched Con Air way more times.
Yeah.
I enjoy it more.
It's kind of like Ferris Bueller, where it's always on TV.
The Rock doesn't have Cyrus the Virus.
That's right. And it was directed by Michael Bay, so just shit's exploding constantly.
Yeah.
I've ran out of movies to talk about that Nick Cage is in, and this one though does look really good, and I do want to see it.
It's
so
amazing.
I am looking forward to it.
I wanted to see it, but I just like I said, I didn't have time.
A recurring theme throughout the movie is like Pedro Pascal keeps asking Nicolas Cage, like, what's your favorite movie? Like, it comes back to play, like, because he wants to know, like, as an actor, what's your favorite movie? And he convinces him to watch Paddington 2.
Is that with the fucking bear?
Yeah.
Yes. And at the end, it doesn't show them like watching the movie. It just shows the movie ending, and it zooms to Nicolas Cage, and he's in tears. He says, "Paddington 2 is fucking amazing."
It's so good because every movie he's talking about throughout is like a really obscure old black and white movie.
Yeah.
So he doesn't talk about a whole lot of new stuff. And when he convinces him to watch Paddington 2, he loves it.
And there's a moment where like Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal are like pointing guns at each other, and neither one wants to shoot them. Pedro Pascal's like, "I love you." Nicolas Cage's like, "I love you too." Pointing guns at each. It's just one of those kind of movies.
I don't want to do this.
Right,
So
but it does have a lot of heart to it. It is about Nicolas Cage putting his acting career.
Was this
before
one of
his
those
family.
movies where all the best parts were in the trailer?
No,
absolutely
absolutely not.
Okay.
There's a lot of very good stuff in that
Because
movie.
the trailer made it look really good, and I know oftentimes that's a bad sign.
The third act to me is where it kind of gets like more typical action movie, but that's kind of the point because it's like a Nicolas Cage movie. The first two acts are just meta comedy. First act is like all him making fun of himself in his old movies. Second act is like this buddy movie between him and Pedro Pascal, and then it's like an action at the end.
And then the very end is meta again.
Yes,
Right, as it ends.
All right. I was already excited for the movie. You've convinced me that
It's
I still
excellent.
need to see it.
If you even have a tiny bit of love for Nicolas Cage, you're gonna fucking love this movie.
Okay.
This was the perfect actor for this kind of movie. Like,
Oh yeah. It wouldn't have worked with many people.
Right.
What was the question you asked?
My question is, let's go to Mike. Mike, what is the last movie you watched?
Of
Last
2022.
movie that I watched of 2022.
Yeah, don't say some 1980s movie.
I think you just watched it like 2 days ago. So
I did. That's why I'm like, dang it, we're really going to talk about this now?
we're not
Mike,
doing
we're not
that.
saving
yeah,
things
yeah,
for
we're
the
not
end.
doing
Well,
that. We're not
I
doing
know.
that.
I'm just saying this is probably like one of the. It was the top grossing movie of 2022, and it was Top Gun Maverick.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So fucking good. Well,
Okay,
it was until Avatar 2. I'm not sure if Avatar 2 beat it in 2022.
It's going to, but
It will, but it didn't in 2022.
I'm glad this one's coming up because I had someone who didn't get to see it, who didn't really care about seeing it, and didn't really care about the first movie. I'm kind of blown away that it's literally in everybody's like top 3 of the year from every video I watched, every list I saw. Is it that good, and why?
Let me first let me just say this.
let Mike start.
You guys already know because I told you 2 days ago. I had never seen Top Gun until 2 days ago.
Which is fucking crazy.
I know. I even
It's
said
about a man struggling with his own sexuality.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that didn't change in this one.
Here's a way to test if like, you know how you ask people sometimes like, have you seen this? Like, oh yeah, but you know they haven't. Like Corey Doug, what do we do with Mike? American Psycho. Have you seen American Psycho? Mike's like, yeah,
I've seen it.
Doug's like, but have you? I saw parts. No, but all you have to do is ask somebody in Top Gun, who's the Top Gun? They're gonna say, oh, it's Tom Cruise. Like, no, you're fucking wrong. He does not win Top Gun.
No,
Top Gun is the base.
No, Top Gun
the
is the
school.
award, but it's Iceman.
Oh. Okay.
Val Kilmer wins.
He doesn't even win it.
I knew you guys were going to be blown away by the fact that I hadn't seen it until 2023.
Yeah, I think that movie's from like. Isn't that movie from the 80s?
It is from the 80s,
86.
Yeah, holy shit.
So, first and foremost, I did thoroughly enjoy
One of the best intro theme songs of all time.
I did thoroughly enjoy Top Gun. They played Highway to the Danger Zone so much, but I think that song was actually wrote for the movie.
I was gonna say,
sense.
I'm almost certain that song only exists because of that.
Like they're
And can I point something out about that song? It took way too long in Maverick to play the song. It was almost 2 minutes in. What the
I was gonna say, wait, what?
Fucking shit tier movie, obviously.
Yeah, like I was or Amber and I were discussing when we were watching it. It's like, yeah, anytime a song is made for a movie, it gets played like 4 or 5 times
during the movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nothing is a bigger fucking example of that than Transformers. The second one. What the fuck was the second one called?
Nobody cares.
Transformers 2, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
Anyway.
Transformers 2, the song New Divide by Linkin Park was literally played, the instrumental version, the entire fucking movie, pretty much. It got actually really annoying.
Revenge of the Fallen? Does that sound right?
I'm like,
sure.
That sounds like one of them.
I think that's the third one.
Yeah, you fucking...
I don't fucking know. Anyway.
Steel Vengeance.
So, oddly enough, I think there's another song that was played more than Danger Zone in the first Top Gun. I think Take My Breath Away was fucking played like 6 times.
And every time Iceman walked on screen.
Well, no, here's what they did, though. With Take My Breath Away, they teased it every time.
Yeah.
It never played the full song.
It just did the beginning every time.
The worst part of that is it was literally played 6 times in a span of like 20 minutes.
I'm so glad you actually kept track of that.
I'm like, why?
It's such a weird thing to pay attention. No wonder you guys hate movies and me and Carrie like movies.
Yeah.
But that aside,
Mike, I'm so proud of you.
That aside, actually, I really love Top Gun. It was a really good movie.
Okay, which one was better?
Oh, I definitely enjoyed Maverick way more.
Ooh.
But it's not even it's not that necessarily that the movie's better. To me it is, but I mean I enjoyed both of them very much. I think one Maverick shows a lot more of a character development in the second one than he does in the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he's definitely a damn good leader, and he's not nearly as cocky as he was in the first one.
He's like the reluctant teacher.
Yeah,
which you see that a lot. Like a guy like, I'm no instructor, I'm no teacher, and then they end up being damn good at it.
He was gonna be okay with teaching. He didn't really want to until he found out Rooster was in the class. Then he didn't want to do it at all.
Which, Doug, if you've seen the original Top Gun, Rooster is Goose's son.
Okay.
Goose
Played
gets
by Miles
killed.
Teller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he feels bad still about Goose's death.
I've seen the original. I just haven't. I haven't seen Maverick.
They did such a good job making him look almost just like Goose.
They really did.
Like I was like, damn.
Such a good job. They even had him put glasses on and sing Great Balls of Fire at a piano in a bar.
They did.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And they replaced volleyball with football.
Exactly. But shirtless still.
Yes.
Of course. They had to be shirtless.
If it wasn't shirtless, it wouldn't be about a man coming to terms with his own sexuality.
Shirtless, or I send it back.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite lines from the movie is at the beginning when they're walking, he's about to test that plane.
Mach 10!
To get it to Mach 10. And his friend is like, I don't like that face. And he's like, it's the only one I got.
Right. One of my favorite lines, and it's so fucking... The whole scene is so emotional with him and Val Kilmer. Anybody knows what's going on with Val Kilmer right now.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool just to see.
How did he handle this movie?
He did end up speaking a little bit, but
he didn't.
They played...
Yeah, he didn't actually talk.
They actually have a CGI system that pulled his old voice from the 80s
and
90s.
Okay.
It was a deep fake.
It was a deep fake AI.
They used AI to recreate
it was
That's
beautiful the way
really cool.
they did it, but it wasn't actually him talking. His thing, his voice is gone completely.
Yeah.
At the beginning of their conversation, he was just typing on a computer to him.
Yeah.
And at the end of the conversation, he says, he says to him, Mike, you know the line. He says to him, he says, Maverick, who's a better pilot, you or me? Tom Cruise just looks at him. He says, "This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it."
Let's not ruin it.
No, but the movie was just made with such. The thing is, Tom Cruise
he went all
he
above
went
and
all
beyond.
out for this movie,
Yeah.
and he didn't want it released until it was ready.
Tom
Like they
Cruise
wanted to
went all
release
out for a movie.
They wanted, but this is like his baby. Like they wanted to release this years ago, and Tom Cruise, like it took them 9 months, 12 months to just figure out how to get these cameras in these jets and actually get these shots.
I did some reading about it. Like he went for like these really complicated like shots. He made sure everyone was trained. They used real jets. They as much practical effect as possible.
One of the jets he flies in the movie is his own personal fighter jet.
That's at the
Oh,
end,
really?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
He
Yeah.
has a now that's scary that he owns a fighter jet of his
Yeah,
own.
he sure does.
My baby.
Well, yeah, he has a private plane. He flies it at the end of the movie. I absolutely agree that Maverick is just better pretty much in every way.
See, I had this theory that it was so popular because it was like the first movie after COVID. You know what I mean? Like things were finally winding down. It was this big box office thing. Everyone was getting out of their houses completely. Not just like people like you guys, but like smart people too.
Oh yeah, this was not the first movie I saw back in theaters. I watched Studio 666 in theaters before this with the Foo Fighters.
Nice.
Oh wow, that was the end of last year.
That movie was rough.
This was like the first big movie that came out where like literally everyone was like, "Fuck it, we're done with this."
I think. Well, here's what I think it is. I think we're in the age of fucking. Obviously, we're in the age of requels, sequels, remakes, nostalgia bait, and
Twister just got a sequel announced.
Yeah, we have a fucking Twister sequel coming. But you know, there's a bunch of remakes nobody needs to see. Like, there's a fucking Firestarter remake this year or 2022. It was like a Stephen King remake of a.
It's on my 80s movie. It
sucks. It's so generic. Zac Efron's okay in it, but
he's
it's
great
generic.
in it, but he's a good actor. So
Zac Efron's a great actor, but a movie can still be shit.
It's just all these movies that like nobody asked to be remade. They made a new Eraser this year. Remember that 90s Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Yeah. Why would they bother?
They made a new Eraser with no Schwarzenegger, no big budget. It sucks. But
well, they never stopped to ask themselves if they should, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You never stop to ask yourself if you should.
This movie was really mediocre and like almost nobody cares about it. Should we remake it? Absolutely.
We should.
Well, that's the thing I've actually always said is that instead of remaking these fucking classics, we should be remaking shitty movies and make them good.
There you go.
Or just let them die and make new stuff.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
With fire.
Thank you, Kylo.
No, but to conclude my point, in the age of fucking everything, you know, Ghostbusters and Jurassic World and just everything, nostalgia, getting these old characters, I think this movie just did it the best way where it didn't rely on nostalgia, but it had enough in there for the fans of the original. But you could watch this movie probably without watching Top Gun.
A lot of people did.
You absolutely could watch this movie without watching Top Gun.
Could.
Yeah.
So I think they just did it the perfect way. The movie, the action sequences, like we said, no CGI. Tom Cruise wanted that all practical. It's fucking fantastic. There is a sequence that's very A New Hope, where they have to go into this trench and fucking drop.
They literally do the trench run.
They do.
Can I say something from the other perspective, because you two sound like you're gonna just gush on it? I don't like that they threw so many similarities to the first movie in there. First of all, they have him chase a jet again on a Kawasaki Ninja again. Mm-hmm. They had him show up at Jennifer Connelly's house, and she still has the Corvette.
Yeah.
They did the beach scene with the shirtless, but it's football. Oh, what a big difference.
He gots to.
They played Danger Zone again, obviously.
But they only played it once.
They had Rooster sing the song that his dad sang in the bar with glasses on. They did too much from the first movie. The rest of it, that's my only negative. The rest of the movie is perfect.
I feel like that's like actually a systemic issue with all these like reboots of series that have been gone for a long time, is they like more or less remake them as like the same movie.
But where some movies remake things, they do a similar thing. Oh. This movie literally copied a lot of it.
Okay, so
it just did it again.
With that being said, I will admit, when this movie kicked on, because I rented it on Amazon to watch it, when this movie kicked on and it made it through like the first like minute and a half, I literally turned to Amber and I was like, "Wait, did I rent the wrong fucking movie? This is starting. Are we watching Top Gun again? Because we watched it back to back."
And Tom Cruise looks the same fucking age.
It was well because it starts off with that exact same like message.
Right.
It starts off with the same song.
Yep.
Corey's right. That whole entire sequence does start off extremely similar. I agree with him about when he goes back to Top Gun that he gets that little. I agree. Like there's that moment where he's going down the runway and the plane's flying, the jet's flying, and he does the whole thing all over again. Like that did bother me, but I have to say I'm not upset about the bar thing with him doing the Great Balls of Fire, because that I felt like was actually important to the story, because you see Tom Cruise sitting there watching him and he gets all like kind of teary-eyed and like, oh fuck,
right.
Like, so I think that was actually important to do. The rest of it I do agree with Corey on, though. There was like kind of like they didn't need to do the whole shot for shot. Like, we get it, we know it's a Top Gun sequel.
wait, real quick. I know we have to like move it along, but I just want to say I do agree too. There was a lot of shot for shot stuff. For some reason, the movie outside of that was so well made. None of that bothered me. Where a lot of lesser made movies, it does bother me. For some reason, it just all worked for me here.
Like the majority of it was all in the beginning, so by the time you're in, like actually in the movie, you forgot. Like I completely forgot about it until Corey brought it up.
Yeah,
I just wanted to ask you guys, because you both seen it. What did you think about Bob? Because he didn't get a call sign. It's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
But then you see his character, and you're like, oh, we get why he doesn't have a call sign now. He's just like this.
Yeah, you
doofy
don't typically
guy
get call signs if you're like the butt of the joke.
Yeah, because they're like, what do they call you? And he's like, Bob. And they're like, what is Bob? Does that stand for something? He's like, no, just Bob.
Just Bob. So it has been speculated that acronym may either stand for badass on board or more likely baby on board.
Oh, yeah, they did say baby on board.
Yeah, that's Hangman said that.
None of us even mentioned
Hangman.
Hangman. That's Rooster's. He's his Iceman. I kept wanting to say ally. That's the wrong fucking word. I mean, he does save him at the end, like Iceman did. He's his rival. Yeah,
rival. He's his rival.
Like we probably realistically could do a full length episode on Maverick, but there's just so much about this movie.
Yeah, keep in mind this isn't a full length on.
Yeah,
full length
Miles Teller gives a great performance. I love the kind of animosity between him and Tom Cruise. I love how they kind of bond together. John Hamm does good as kind of the asshole.
Yeah.
Great made movie, great action sequences, probably the best of the year. The dog fights in the sky are fucking amazing.
Wait, you think this movie's the best of the year?
No, I said probably like
okay.
Like he's talking about the sequences, yeah.
It's probably going to be my top 3 to 5.
Damn,
it's definitely my top 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Blew my mind for a minute.
But granted, unlike, Adrian probably out of the 4 of us has seen the most movies this year.
Granted, Mike.
Year.
Granted, not granite.
No, that's Breaking Bad season 5 episode 15, Granite State.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
I was just giving them a teaser.
Yeah, I was actually checking out the list before we started. I've seen over 40 movies in 2022.
Exactly. Yeah, and
no one hears. Maybe Corey, but I feel like
close to, if not more than that. But I watched most of them.
I've probably only seen maybe 10.
Wow.
I wish mine was a double-digit number. So
I'm the kind of person that like I see a movie that I really want to watch, but then I wait a couple. Like I won't watch it right away unless it's like usually typically like a Marvel or DC movie. I'll go watch right away because I don't want that. Those 2 particular movies I don't want spoiled.
Which 2?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go ahead, continue.
Marvel and DC movies.
We'll just have to. Anything we touch on,
no. I mean, if it gets to a point by now, if I haven't seen it, I don't care if it's spoiled for me. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, because Mike and Doug still haven't seen Love and Thunder, have you?
I haven't even seen Wakanda Forever, and I know it's going to come up in this episode.
Corey, what's the last movie you saw?
I already answered the question. I was the first one to answer.
Yeah, you asked me first.
Doug, hey Doug, what's the last movie you saw?
I saw that came out in 2022 was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, yeah.
Chef's Kiss. Phenomenal.
We're getting some of the heavy hitters out of the way early.
Oh, yeah. Heaviest of hitter, even.
Some could say the heaviest.
I'm going to hang back and let you guys gush about this, and I'm going to learn.
We're not gushing too much because these motherfuckers won't shut up about it, so...
Oh, we're going to do a full episode on this movie.
So, Doug, what did you think?
What did I think? I think that if you take everything and put it on a bagel, you probably got a masterpiece on your hands.
Who would have thought a movie with a fucking everything bagel at the center of it would be?
The strongest fucking thing in the entire world is a black
I took everything
bagel.
and put it on a bagel. Literally everything.
This movie has fucking.
Oh my god!
Mike, we're gonna talk about it.
I started to wonder, what if
fine.
you took everything and put it on a bagel?
And she did.
An everything bagel that truly has everything.
This movie has a Ratatouille joke involving a raccoon called Raccacoonie.
Yeah.
Raccacoonie.
Raccacoonie.
Oh my
I
God.
love when she's describing what's the movie with the chef. He cooked raccoon. It's like, are you talking about Ratatouille? Raccacoonie.
I love how in the same scene she's thinking out stabbing her own daughter.
Yes.
That's how this movie.
There is no plausible way to describe this movie. You have to watch it.
I think everything bagel is the perfect description. There's
Mike, I
everything.
watched this movie, paid very close attention to this movie, and I can't describe what it's about to you. I can't.
This movie made me cry.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
This movie made me feel everything.
It's officially on our schedule to do, so I have till then to watch it.
Yes, this movie has everything bagels as at the center of the universe. It has raccoon joke as Ratatouille. It has a universe with people with hot dogs for fingers.
It has a universe where they're just rocks.
They take the concept of every decision you make creates a branching and alternative universe in which you made the opposite decision, and from that decision, every decision you could have made had you gone that route is then
That actually sounds really awesome.
The concept is
and
amazing.
so like the main villain of the movie is this omni-dimensional being that exists in all universes simultaneously as their different versions of themselves, so they know every sequence of every decision they ever could have made.
It's kind of like string theory.
At the most basic level, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much more complex than
Mike,
that.
imagine a multiverse movie.
Okay, we're
done
not
right
talking
in
about that right
2022.
now.
How dare you?
A movie that actually explores multiple universes.
Adrian, it's not even like fair. This movie does it so well. Like I couldn't have believed the movie would ever handle this like concept well until I saw this movie.
So
it's like not even fair to like hold it against other movies.
I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't like I wanted to watch it to do the episode with you guys. I wasn't like super intrigued until you just explained all that shit.
It's and
Now I
now
actually wanna
take the
watch
part now add in martial arts for some reason.
A little bit. There wasn't as much martial arts as I wanted.
A little bit.
But it was very well choreographed.
I do want to see the confetti guy.
Oh.
You want to see the guys
see
who
'em.
have to put things up their asses, is what you want to see.
Oh my god, that fight is excellent.
That is so good.
When they're all fighting
Trophy.
over the fucking butt plugs.
Jumps on the
Oh.
fucking
What?
trophy.
Mike, you cannot go into this movie
Can't.
prepared, no matter what
No.
we say.
Yeah,
You're
so
not ready.
Mike. So basically, people have to do these strange things.
Things you wouldn't think of in any of the universes to do.
Things you would never do trigger a way for you to access like your thoughts of other selves that could have done that. Yeah, they find a way to tap your brain into other versions of yourself to acquire skills and abilities and knowledge.
Like at one moment, this guy has to give himself paper cuts in between each one of his fingers.
Yeah, and
For some reason, it's one of the most horrific scenes.
fucking what's her face? Jamie Lee Curtis staples paper to her head and turns into a pro wrestler version of herself.
The main actress to learn, what is it, sign flipping. She has to swallow like a glass frog.
And then she uses the sign spinning ability to like whoop ass.
Yep. It's a great fucking movie.
What?
It's deep, meaningful, funny. Like
Yeah, it's funny, it's heartfelt, it's emotional. It's a story about family. It's fucking, there's a message about nihilism in there. Like the way that people look at, like if you take the term nothing matters, you know, we've briefly talked about this with Mike before. You can say nothing matters and that can be a sad thing to you.
and for a lot of people, that's like a sad,
It's
that
a sad
makes them
thought.
empty.
Or you can say
But
nothing matters. Therefore,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
The nothing matters is literally like such a freeing thought.
Right. See, whereas some people see that as like a very depressing, sad thing.
Mike, you can say this movie has everything, everywhere, all at once.
Everywhere.
All
at
at
once.
once.
I was gonna make that joke.
Well, too bad.
Stole it.
Oh, we've made that joke a billion times since.
I watched that movie 3 times. For whatever reason, I saw that movie in theaters. At the time, it was immediately like a top 5 of the
I
year
know,
for
you
me.
wouldn't stop talking
I
about it.
rewatched it twice recently. It just spoke to me so much more, like even more so.
You wouldn't stop talking about it to the point Doug and I both watched it that night.
Yeah, you were like, when you said I might like it more than the Batman, I was like, this stupid fucker. I'm gonna prove him wrong right now. And then 2 hours later, I was like, holy fuck, that might be my favorite movie of all time.
They gushed on it that night on our Discord so hard. I thought they were fucking with me. I thought they were. I thought they were messing with me, trying to get me to, because it did. I love this movie, but I didn't love it nearly as much.
He was
as
like,
they
"Fuck
did.
this movie," and then left, and we were like, we talked mad shit on him for hours.
Corey hates this movie.
They would not stop talking about how great it was, to the point where I went to bed because I was like, they're fucking with me. I'm done with this for the night. And I woke up the next morning and they had recorded a 2.5 hour half drunk episode about it. I was like, oh my God, they really did love this movie.
Yeah, like that. I haven't been touched by a movie like that in so long. It like reawakened parts of me I thought were dead.
Doug was in tears for 20 minutes in this. Like,
there's a sequence in that movie where I literally like had tears just running down my eyes for 20 straight minutes. Mike is just like, what the fuck is going on?
It's honestly what I call a masterpiece.
Mike,
it really
Mike,
is.
so far in your relationship, what is the weirdest thing that weirdest movie your girlfriend has enjoyed with you? Like off the wall weird movie.
That's a tough question.
Because this movie's going to knock it out of the park 10 times.
This is weird.
And if she doesn't like weird movies, don't watch it with her. Mike, I know how you enjoy movies, or don't, depending on who you watch it with. So if she doesn't like weird movies, watch it alone.
If you're sitting there clowning on this movie as you watch it, you're doing it a disservice.
I don't know if we've watched anything like I would consider weird. So
this is so fucking off the wall.
But to your statement, I'll have you know, I don't think she really cares for Top Gun, and I loved that movie. So
that doesn't really help.
And we watched that together.
But you have to pay attention to this movie. There are small details. If you miss them, you'll be thrown off.
I've gathered that by listening to you guys talk, that this is a movie.
Like there's a scene where the two
from.
main characters are talking, and in the security camera footage in the background, small glitches happen, and I actually had to rewind it to catch them because I barely noticed them the first time.
I'm actually glad that you guys are saying this stuff, because like when it comes to movies like that, I like knowing that I need to pay attention to them like that. Otherwise, I've watched movies that are like that, and I'm like,
I can't wait for Mike to start watching this movie with the beginning and be like, what the fuck are they talking about? This is such a normal movie.
It does not. It starts off very normal.
Like you said, we'll do a full episode about this, but it's also a great story for the actor who played Short Round back in the day, Indiana Jones. He was also in The Goonies. He's like the main guy in this movie. There's a scene where he beats the fuck out of people with a fanny pack.
Dude, he did like, that scene was so on Jackie Chan's level that I'm amazed I never saw this guy in anything else. I can't believe how hard he nailed that scene.
To beat their asses with the fanny pack, he has to eat an entire thing of chapstick.
Yeah, that's his weird thing he has to do.
Well, that sounds a way easier than eating a glass frog.
It just, well, wait till you see the other things people have to. Oh, and the dog. I'm just going to say this. Wait for the scene.
The dog.
I loved
Doug loves
scene.
This movie because of the scene with the dog.
Probably.
Does the dog die?
No, it's funny. Don't worry.
No, nothing like that.
But we probably got to move on from this movie because there's so much more we could talk about.
Yeah. I could keep going.
Mike see it, and audience,
I think
prepare for that episode because it's going to be crazy. We're going to try and make it as weird as the movie.
Let's get weird.
Should we let Adrian start hating on some stuff here for a little bit?
Adrian needs to answer his own question first.
Oh
yeah. So, last movie, this one might shock you guys more than a lot of other things. Last movie I saw in theaters was Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
Well, I knew you were going to see that.
No, that's not what's going to shock you. What's going to shock you is I actually like it. I don't... Okay, first off, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Doug, you like all the Matrix movies.
Yeah, but those are wonderful.
Now, do I want James Cameron to put all his energy in Avatar? No. I don't want him to focus the rest of his career on making 5 more Avatar movies. This one spoke to me a lot.
Live long enough to make all those movies.
But this one spoke to me a lot more than the first one did.
I did see it.
Oh, you saw it?
I saw parts of it.
Corey wasn't even here for that, and so I didn't want to.
You son of a bitch. That was good.
He had to.
That was a good setup. That was clean.
That was clean. But I definitely care about the main character way more in this movie than I did the first one. Who is it? Sam Worthington. I'll just say right now, you don't see him in human form at all. He's like, because if you remember the first one, he's
that's
Na'vi
right,
now.
yeah.
He didn't
he
basically become one of them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Susan Sarandon's like reborn as one of them or something, because she died at the end of the first one.
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird getting used to her voice as like a little girl.
I know. I think that makes
because
sense
she was like
what the movie's about.
She was like a tyrannical, wanting to take over the world, right? The Na'vi world in the first one, right?
Yeah, and one of the one of the generals in this movie is Edie Falco, which threw me off. Fucking Soprano, Carmela
Jesus,
Soprano.
yeah.
I can't even picture that.
Right.
A Brooklyn Avatar character.
Hey, get out of the water over there. But this movie made me care about the characters more. They introduced these kids, which years have passed since the first Avatar, so they had a couple kids. I would say more. I would say more of the spotlight in the second movie is on the kids, even more so than Neytiri and like the main two. But I actually did love the kid characters. So basically, in this movie, they have to get away from the forest area of Pandora, and they have to go to a water area. This new group
all leading up to be prequels to Kevin Costner's Waterworld.
See, I'm very resistant to these Avatar movies because I hate the war between Avatar 1 and Endgame so much. And I didn't enjoy Avatar 1 that much. There's a war? But from the couple people I know that did go see the second one, they said that not only is everything Adrian just said correct, but also Zoe Saldana put on a powerhouse performance, and that I have to see it for her, just her raw emotion.
Is this movie a big fucking metaphor for anti-deforestation?
I'll be honest, there are some themes in there. James Cameron's a big advocate for all those types of things, and I could see each one of these fucking Avatar movies hitting on a different facet of that. I honestly could. I don't think it's preachy. I don't think it's in your face at all.
Okay.
The focus is on the characters. The main general, the bad guy, it's the same guy from the first one. I'll say he's a Na'vi now instead of a human. He's also reborn. I don't love him. I hope he's not always the big bad going forward. But everything else in the movie, I really enjoyed. The first half hour, I thought it felt more like Avatar 1. I'm like, here we fucking go. But seeing how this is a 3 hour and 15-minute movie, once they travel to the new world, I think it's all pretty good from there. And this is coming from an Avatar hater. I did not like the first movie at all.
I didn't either, so...
Adrian, after Mike's question, I also have a question.
Adrian, at any point, did you expect Namor to show
up? No.
Okay, I have a real question.
Yeah, there was a real question.
So, the one appeal to this movie for me is like I've always looked at these Avatar movies as like tech showcases of what we can currently do.
Oh yeah,
visual CGI. Was it like about as good as it gets?
There's nothing where it really shines.
The water. Does the water
the underwater scenes are fucking unreal. This is a movie I know you guys probably won't, especially after hearing news about the Cranberry Theater. This is more so for Corey and Mike. So I know you guys probably won't see this movie in theaters, but this is a movie that absolutely deserves to be seen like on the biggest screen possible.
I saw the first one big screens. That was the only part that I loved about it, was how beautiful it was.
It's beautiful. It's a technical fucking marvel. It's like the first one. I thought we've come so far since 2009. Like, there's not much else you can do, but again, this is just the best looking movie.
Like, I watched the first Avatar and I enjoyed it. But it wasn't like this monumental masterpiece that everybody claimed it was to me. It was like, I've seen this movie before. It's Dances with Wolves.
When I went and saw this in the first one in theaters, I really enjoyed myself. I went home talking about how great it was. Then when it came out, I rented it, and not seeing the beautifulness on the big screen took away everything else. And I was just like, oh, it's kind of a mediocre movie.
Well, I did watch it on a 65-inch 4K TV, so that helps.
The last movie I saw streaming, which is a little more of a deep cut, is it's called The Menu.
I haven't seen that yet. I want to see it.
I heard that was really good.
I can't decide if I like it or I love it. I'm somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
Is that a 2022 movie?
Yes.
Haven't even heard of it.
It came up when I was looking for movies to watch for 2022 that were great. It was on the list.
It's like I don't know if you call it a comedy horror or a comedy thriller. So basically it's like this girl and this guy they pay for this all-inclusive, they go to this island. It's like the nicest restaurant in the fucking world. You pay.
It's run by Voldemort.
Yeah, Ray Fiennes. Oh. But they pay for this luxury. It's you're paying for the experience. You get a ferry ride to this private island. You get a tour, and then they sit you down. They make you a 5-course meal. Somewhere in the middle of it gets real fucking dark and doesn't go the way people expect it to. John Leguizamo plays a past his prime actor. That feels a little bit on the nose, but
he had a prime.
He was in The Jerk.
Carlito's Way, baby. He was great in that movie.
I don't know what either of those are.
The past. Oh God, don't talk about the past. But John Leguizamo's good as like a supporting role. What's her name? Anna Taylor-Joy. She's really fucking good in this movie.
She's just taken off lately.
Yeah, she really is. I didn't like her as
She's also going to be Princess Peach.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that movie's gonna be so good.
Yeah, but no, this movie's fucking dark, twisted. Like I said, Ray Fiennes steals the fucking show. He's so good.
He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah, he is. He's just so damn good. He's scary in this like he is in Schindler's List.
I was going to say it's nice to see him in something that's not Harry Potter or a Nazi movie.
hey, I saw him. He's in James Bond.
Yeah, I said Nazi movie.
The Daniel Craig ones.
He said, yeah, I said Nazi movie.
He has a good point, Mike.
I think the menu. So as much as I love the menu, it might work even a little better for someone like Corey, who's like an actual foodie.
I've heard of this movie. I actually want to see that one a lot.
What's his face from?
I also love food.
The new X-Men is in it.
Nicholas Hoult. He's a very good actor.
Yeah,
he's good too.
He's been really good in everything I've seen him in.
Mike made a good joke with Daniel Craig with the James Bond, so I'm going to naturally transition to that. Has anyone here besides me seen Glass Onion?
No,
I haven't seen. Is that the Knives Out thing? Is that the Knives Out thing? Yeah. I haven't even seen Knives Out.
That's the one thing I didn't get to, and that was a crazy statement. Knives Out.
I haven't even seen Knives Out.
One of my favorite.
I keep forgetting about it.
Knives Out is right up Doug's alley. I think you'd love it.
I love
movies. I love this kind of movies.
I'm going to extend an olive branch. Ryan Johnson, aside from what he did to the fucking Last Jedi, is a good director.
You mean when he made it a masterpiece?
Yeah, when he made Star Wars way more interesting.
No, but
take that sound effect out.
Real quick aside, Adrian. I had a conversation with people about Star Wars yesterday, and they all were instantly angry when I said I liked The Last Jedi.
That's because they're smart.
We tried telling you that you two were in the minority.
Here's what I'll say about Glass Onion. This is a movie I think you guys will all eventually watch, so I don't want to say too much. I'm not going to give any twists or big reveals. New cast of characters are great. We have Kate Hudson. We have Batista, Edward Norton.
Yeah. Ed Norton's in this, right? And he plays the villainy guy.
Kind of, maybe. Yeah. He plays like the rich ass.
The rich asshole.
Well, they're all suspects.
He's totally Elon Musk. It's totally a play on Elon Musk. I think fucking after the second movie, I know they plan to make this a trilogy. I honestly hope they keep going. I think this could be like Daniel Craig, like what he's known for, more than James Bond. I fucking love Benoit Blanc. I love him so much.
He really, if he turns this into a bunch of mystery movies with Benoit Blanc, he actually could.
Dude, his James Bond is my favorite James Bond.
Yeah, but this is an original character.
These are that good?
Nailing. Oh,
yeah,
that's so good.
They're very good.
Okay.
Something doesn't add up here. I love the way he fucking talks.
Boy.
His southern drawl.
My southern drawl.
He sounds like fucking Foghorn Leghorn. I love him.
Now, what you saying here? What you saying here?
So what this movie does is like, so the initial setup is that Edward Norton invites all of these old friends to his private island for like a murder mystery so they can solve his murder. Like to him, it's a game. Like it's this elaborate thing they set up. It's supposed to take all weekend. So what this movie does is it goes through and tells this entire fucking story. And then about halfway through, you just get a fucking cut. And this new piece of information is revealed to the viewer. And then we kind of re-see these events through new eyes. Which
the first one kind of also did that with the way he was talking, and then go back and he would remember, oh, this person said this, and it was way more maniacal than I thought.
I just love that version of I like that way of storytelling.
Yeah, me too.
Like where they go in and fill the holes. Like, oh fuck, now this all makes sense.
Exactly, I love that.
I think the supporting cast is great. Just as good as the first one. I still don't know how I feel about which one I like better. In a way, they're comparable. In a way, they're not. All I know is I hope they keep these movies up because they're so much fun.
Did you know that Ryan Johnson hates that it says a Knives Out mystery? He hates it. He
Oh,
just
really?
wanted it to be called
They
Glass
basically
Onion.
just had to put that there.
So he wants this to just be like a series
Yes,
of like Benoit Blanc movies.
But they want them to be called all a Knives Out mystery so that they can be the Knives Out series. And Rian Johnson doesn't like
of
that
course.
idea.
It's kind of the same thing that they did with that stupid Birds of Prey movie. They had to add Harley Quinn's name to it so people wanted to watch it.
And then everybody watched it, and I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I fucking bought it.
But no,
Yeah.
I agree. What I love that they're doing with this series is that each movie you don't need to really watch any of them in order.
Which is why he hates that it's a series.
Yeah, but I mean, it's obviously going to be a series because it's the same character. But it's always going to be a different cast. He's going to be the only character that is the same. Yeah,
I honestly hope they never bring back any of the characters from the other movies.
I'm sure
Yeah, I
at
do
some
too.
point they'll bring back somebody as
like Chris
for some
Evans will get out of
dumbass reason.
prison, and
But the problem,
What a
Yeah.
twist!
but the problem with that is then you kind of like, oh, where does this character come from? Why do they know each other? So, like, what is going on here? So I agree. I hope they don't ever do that because then that way they can keep the whole thing where you could literally, somebody could pick Glass Onion up and be like, okay, I'm going to watch this. And then they would never even know what the fuck Knives Out is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could totally, as somebody who's seen both, you could totally watch Glass Onion with no knowledge of Knives Out. By the way, I'll just tell you a beginning. The first time you see Benoit Blanc in this, Corey and Mike, you'll like this. It's no spoiler. They do a little setup before you even see his character. But the first time you see him, he's just in a depression in his bathtub because he hasn't had any good cases. And he's just playing fucking Among Us with friends. The music starts like, Corey has a little blanket in the back. You just hear like the little dun, 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 when they report. And he's like, wait, what just happened here? They're like, well, Benoit, we saw you kill him in the room.
that's perfect.
Oh my god!
A girl asked him later. She's talking about Clue. She's like, "Oh, you must be really good at Clue." He said, "No, I'm not good at dumb things."
Wow. Wow.
He's talking about one of the character reveals. He's like, "It's so dumb," and oh fuck, I just lost her. Kate Hudson. She's like, "It's so dumb, it's brilliant." He looks up angry, said, "No, it's just dumb."
So he's a lot more lighthearted in this one than he was in the first one. Because in Knives Out, he's a little more
he
serious.
is.
Well, because in this one is supposed to be like a game, right? It's not
That's
actually
true.
like.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
assuming a murder actually eventually happens.
Edward Norton setting up like a game, a murder mystery.
Mike,
Yeah.
I do care about spoilers for that one. It just came out. So stop asking questions. Well, Mike just asked you a question.
Oh, he's saying stop asking questions.
He doesn't have to answer. I assume that a murder probably eventually does happen.
A murder's about to
There's
happen
been
if you
a
don't stop
murder.
asking questions.
There's been a murder here.
Yeah, but
My
Doug,
stars.
I would recommend you watch both of them. Corey,
I
Mike,
will.
definitely watch Glass Onion. I think it
Okay.
holds up with the first one.
I tried to watch it before this episode, but I couldn't get around to it.
Yeah,
Just-
Knives Out isn't something I avoided or anything. It's just something I keep forgetting even exists.
Right.
I was supposed to go see it in theaters when it came out originally, but
When we all watch them, we should definitely do an episode on those.
Hell yeah. But just to put your guys' mind at ease, there, to me at least, there's not a dip in quality here.
Good, good.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Go Ryan Johnson. Ooh.
all right, Adrian, Corey, you've seen the most movies. What's a movie that was really loved this year that you hated?
Ooh, good question.
That was loved and we hated.
Yeah, a movie that was well received, but you hated.
Like you guys were like, I don't get what the fuss.
I
is
already
about.
know, Adrian. I gave you that's an easy question for you, man. Come on.
Was this movie love? What are you thinking?
I already know what you want to say. You've 180'd on this movie so hard since you saw it.
No, the way you were talking shit on it just now, like
All he does is suck shit on it
like
now.
20, 30 minutes
He's
ago, it's
decided
like-
it's not even a good movie.
Oh, what, Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah. At first, I remember when it first came out, you're like, this is actually a pretty good movie. And now
Yeah,
you're just like, I fucking hate them.
yeah, you kind of fucking... That's why sometimes I hate doing reviews as soon
You
as
shouldn't.
movies come out, is because, like, you haven't had time to process it.
I think you should, because then you can come back later and do a re-review where you're like, I decided I actually hate it.
I'm gonna say both, being the Marvel hater of the group.
yeah, he is.
I think I was too generous on my reviews of Love and Thunder and Multiverse of Madness. If I could go back and do my review for Love and Thunder, I'd probably give it like a 5, maybe.
I don't think that one did that well.
No.
But Multiverse of Madness did it. It's in like people's top lists for the year.
Yeah,
So I know it's not
going to be like on my worst of the year. It's definitely going to be on my disappointing list. Just going into
I
it.
just I don't get it.
Going into it,
I don't either.
I don't think they do a good job exploring a multiverse, which is in the title. I don't think, Mike, what's that face about? They explore one other world. Like, they fly through a couple real quick, but you never see them. And the big thing about this new world is you go on red, you stop on green, you eat pizzas in a bowl. Like,
hey, you leave the pizza papa alone.
Pizza Papa always gets paid.
I mean, I do love Bruce Campbell, but he does always
Listen, not every multiverse movie has to staple things to the forehead to travel in between.
Corey's getting personal now.
Hold on. No,
everything everywhere all at once fucking kills multiverse.
I hate that they're compared at all.
This is what The Face was about. Like, this movie was setting up. This movie was setting up the fact that there is multiverses. Like, it wasn't meant for you to be like.
But it's in the title.
It's because he made it happen. Like, that's why it's the multiverse.
But the expectation going in is they're going to explore multiverses. You get one that's really not that different. I don't think fucking the fact that Sam Raimi was coming into it, I feel like there's large chunks of this movie that feels very generic MCU. I wanted this to be full Sam Raimi, balls to the wall all the time. I love Wanda. I don't like the introduction of the Illuminati. It's fast. Fucking Dr. Reed Richards, for being the smartest man in the world, or one of them, like, tells her how to kill their strongest. Like, all he has to do is open his mouth and you're dead.
That was kind of
the
dumb.
Illuminati already exists in the comics. That was not.
I know. I'm just saying.
That's not what he meant. He just meant they rushed through the introduction.
But I think that was okay, because what I don't like is this movie was supposed to be about, Doctor Strange mostly, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to spend all this time on the Illuminati, and like, because then it's not just a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, but they've done that.
That should be saved for an Avengers movie.
All right, Captain America: Civil War.
Well, trust me, we haven't got there when we do our Phase 3. You'll hear my complaint about that one.
He said we haven't got to Phase 3.
You're going to complain about one of the best, like, top 5 Marvel movies?
That one bothers me so much.
I think Wanda's great at times. She's legitimately scary.
Yeah.
I think there's some good effects in here when it does feel like Sam Raimi. I fucking love it. And I love how they went Evil Dead Sam Raimi and not like Spider-Man Sam Raimi. That's where I was pleasantly surprised.
I just love that when we did this episode, Adrian was like, "Sam Raimi's back, baby."
See, I already knew his. I've known about his opinions for a while now, because we also talked about it tonight that we recorded Everything Everywhere at Once for
right.
Well, and now he's like, "Fuck Sam Raimi." That movie sucked.
I never said fuck Sam Raimi ever.
Things were said when it was just me and him that we won't repeat. Corey, what's a movie that was beloved this year?
See, I didn't really hate anything that was beloved this year, except the only one I can possibly put on that list.
Gotta be one.
I didn't really like Nope that much. Aliens.
What's that one about?
It's a Jordan Peele.
That's the Jordan
movie.
Peele
I love Jordan
movie.
Peele, but
okay.
Nope didn't grab me.
Yeah, it's at moments it's very close encounters of the third kind.
And I didn't like that movie either.
So was this like a sequel to the last movie he made?
No,
just same actor.
all of it
in the same vein. It's like a horror thriller.
Very light horror.
Yeah, it is light on the horror.
It's mostly.
Well, when you say Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I was like,
it's
is this
an
like
alien
a thriller?
thriller.
Like,
basically, it's.
What sucks is there's like a story within a story. Corey, what's the guy's name from Walking Dead? Good actor. Stephen Yeun. Yeah, so there's like this whole backstory with Stephen Yeun's character about like something disturbing that happened because he was like a child actor on this family sitcom. And what happens is like this one episode, they have these balloons, and these balloons pop, and this fucking ape just goes nuts and like kills everybody on the set. And this is like a side story to his character, but I think I would have been more interested to see that than the actual movie that happened. I think Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya were fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
They gave great performances. Everyone says Daniel Kaluuya like sleptwalked through the movie, but like that's kind of his character. He's more introvert. Nope wasn't one of my favorite horrors of the year. Like you said, pretty light on the horror. The effects are good when when the alien actually, like when it reveals itself and it swallows all those people up and you see the people, like him digesting all the people. That was fucking horrifying.
And like when the UFO first shows up and he's riding his horse towards the house and it's flying down at him.
You mean
UFO?
UFO
it's flying down at him. That's a pretty cool fucking vision, and it's actually kind of almost makes you fearful watching that because it looks so real.
Oh yeah, Angel's good too. Angel's a good character. Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it either. I didn't think it was underwhelming. It's just
Fair enough.
Get Out. He still hasn't touched Get Out to me.
No.
Yeah, no, even I like to Get Out.
Right.
That's all you got to say.
So sometimes my biggest problem with Peele, and I love his movies for the most part, sometimes it's a little bit too about the symbolism and the message he's trying to tell. Sometimes I wish he would just focus on making the fucking movie instead of trying to go with these themes so heavily.
That's just how some writers.
Yeah, that's how Peele is. Yeah,
that's like his whole appeal.
That's his appeal.
Yeah. When I've said that, I wasn't even like intending to make a stupid joke. I was like, "Oh, damn it! I don't even know how else I could have said that sentence."
I guess out of all of the movies that I had seen for 2022, the ones that were beloved, that I can't say I hated them. There was a movie that disappointed me. That it actually disappointed a lot of fans. So it wasn't just me. As huge Harry Potter fans, the four of us, I watched Secrets of Dumbledore, and I didn't hate it. But it didn't. I really don't think it did much for the story at all. Like
there was absolutely no secret.
No, there really was. Like, it wasn't even about Albus either. It wasn't fucking.
Here's the secret: this movie sucks.
The secret is that we got you to spend money on a ticket, you idiot.
It did literally nothing to further the story. There, like Corey said, there was no secrets whatsoever.
No secrets.
Everybody knew that Dumbledore was gay. Everybody knew that. Like, I think the biggest plot twist was that Credence character, which isn't going to exist anymore because it's Ezra Miller, was that he was actually a Dumbledore.
Who cares though?
But here's the big telling of how bad this movie is. Warner Brothers has decided to not make any future Harry Potter projects for the foreseeable future. In fact, they're actually considering rebooting the Harry Potter franchise, which is really upsetting.
Stupid. They should not do that.
It's way too soon.
Secrets of Dumbledore was so bad, they were like, let's just reboot the whole franchise.
They had 3 more Fantastic Beasts movies they were going to make. Now they don't know if they're going to do them.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you this. I've never even watched the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Me neither.
Would you guys put the best Fantastic Beasts above any Harry Potter movie?
The first one's pretty solid.
The very first one's great.
So you'd put that above, like, Mike, I think you agreed with me, Chamber of Secrets was your least favorite Harry Potter?
I'd put it above the first two.
I would put it above... Yeah,
I
would put it above the first two. Yeah,
the first one's a childhood classic.
What Christopher Columbus do to you?
He discovered America.
There's only one scene in The Secrets of Dumbledore that I loved, and it was that fucking scene where they're doing the crab walk on the wall. I thought that was actually hilarious.
I'm gonna be real. I don't know why there has to be more Harry Potter movies after the books.
The same reason why they keep making more Star Wars shit.
And Fast and Furious.
It's a cash camel.
It's a cash camel.
That's the saying.
That's how it goes.
Mike's sticking to his gun.
I've been saying it wrong all these years. I don't know. I personally, I wish it would just be over. The Harry Potter movies, and part 1 and 2. Oh yeah, well that too.
Wow.
I thought that went without saying. Oh wait, that we don't all feel that way.
Yeah, wait. Somebody here wants to live.
Like Harry Potter the 8 movies, because 7 was 2 movies. Based on the books, I love them all. I'll always love them. I just don't give a fuck after that, though. I'm never gonna watch Fantastic Beasts.
Newt Scamander is a very charming character. Eddie Redmayne is great in that movie.
Excellent.
I even like Dan Fogler as his friend in that movie. Like, he's very good.
Oh yeah, Kowalski.
Is Newt Scamander the one that has been multiple actors, or is that who's the one that's Johnny Depp and now it's
that's Grindelwald.
Grindelwald, right?
It was Colin Farrell, but then you found out at the end he was using a spell, but it was actually Johnny Depp. Then Johnny Depp got into trouble, so they changed it to Mads Mikkelsen.
How did they write out Johnny Depp, or did they just like
same way? He just kept changing faces.
Oh, okay.
So who even knows that
he's gonna be Heath Ledger in the next one. Rest in peace.
Well, that's true. That's true because just like him, this franchise is dead.
Hey,
nice.
I'll keep it.
Did it? Yeah.
But yes, Adrian, to answer your question, I'd put the first Fantastic Beasts above the first 2 Harry Potter movies, just because he is super charming, and that movie was kind of beautiful. But after that, it gets a little too, like, trying too hard. The second one's good to me, but it's not above any of the Harry Potter movies.
The
And
second
the
one's
third
pretty
one
good.
is below all of the Harry Potter movies.
It's kind of funny. The same thing happened to this that is happening to Knives Out. Is after Fantastic Beasts, the that title shouldn't even belong on these movies because it's not even about that anymore. It's not really about him trying to find these beasts.
He said, "Where are these beasts?"
Yeah, the whole first movie was
There wasn't a single Fantastic Beast in this movie.
the whole first movie was him trying to recollect all of his Fantastic Beasts that escaped his briefcase.
How, Mike? I've never seen this movie. How fantastic were these beasts?
Oh, they are phenomenal. They should have been phenomenal beasts.
The phenomenal beasts.
Phenomenal beasts and where to find them.
Oh,
with a PH.
Well, you fucked that up fantastically.
All right, I have a question.
See what I did there, Mike?
Because of time, drop a couple. I'm just gonna fuck it. We're gonna talk about the Batman.
I mean, we already did a whole episode on it. We don't have to touch it that much.
We did do a whole episode.
I know.
I'll touch it again.
Have you rewatched it since the
4
theaters?
times.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody. Has everybody?
Yeah.
Wait, you've watched it 4 more times?
4 more. I watched it 3 times in theaters and 4 more since.
That's awesome.
That's
I mean, it still holds up.
That's what I wanted to ask.
My God,
does it hold up
does.
to you guys?
Fuck yes.
Is
It's
it
so brilliant?
better? No. I wanted to. I know. I knew it was going to hold up. I knew it was going to hold up.
To preemptively answer Doug's next question, the third time I saw it in theaters was better than the first time. The fourth time I saw it at home was better than the first time I saw it at home. So yes,
It gets better and better.
It gets better every time.
What I love is because when you watch it, every single time you watch it, you catch something else, and you're like, "Yes, I didn't notice that that last time." Like, and you just keep getting like more and more like the brilliance of it, like the little nuances.
every time I watch it,
details.
I'm blown away by Paul Dano more and more every single time.
Like Paul Dano and Robert Pattinson both just blew me away in this movie.
Also, Paul Dano blew Batman away when he put that bomb on him, dude. Hey.
Take my breath away.
No, the open down.
Anyway, yeah, call
That would
back.
have been perfect.
My final question. Now that you've seen it, had time to sit with it, since this isn't all the way back when we all first saw it and had literally nothing but perfection to say about it, is there any problems with it that you found?
It's not long. It's not long enough.
I actually do feel that
I
way.
would agree with that. Yeah, I wanted that movie to keep going.
You could have threw another hour on that movie and I would have been fine.
Here's my only issue with the Batman. I love Paul Dano in it, but he wasn't in it enough. Like his scenes are very quick.
Okay,
They're over pretty fast.
I think that's what I liked
wanted
about
more
it.
of his craziness.
Yeah, but
he compacted so much. He was so brilliant in the role that he was.
But he was caught and put in prison so fast. Like not so fast timeline wise. It was a long time in the world of Batman, but in the movie he was caught and put in prison pretty fast.
It was like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's really fast.
yeah, but in this movie, that's fast.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
the justice system does not work that well.
We just have to hope that Paul Dano is in more of these movies going forward, which I think he will be.
He's at least going to be in that Arkham show that they're doing. They're doing a Penguin show and an Arkham Asylum show.
I don't think those. I think everything Matt Reeves does is separate from all this other stuff.
Yeah, right. It's not like the Gunverse or whatever.
No, I'm pretty sure like Matt Reeves they've gone out and said that all like the Matt Reeves projects are all separate from.
Yeah,
like,
Matt Reeves does not want to be part of the DC,
and I don't want them to be either.
Well, maybe
I don't either.
maybe because with James Gunn coming in, maybe he'll want it.
No,
no,
just no.
No. But the opening of the Batman. I shared it on Discord, I think a week or two ago. Still gives me.
Oh my god, I watched that like 10 times in a row.
It still gives me fucking goosebumps every time.
The Michael Giacchino score is just I can listen to it on repeat all day long.
Yes,
and just
like,
Robert Pattinson, his narration at the beginning. It's just oh my god,
I am the shadows.
I am the shadows.
And then the footsteps, dude.
Oh my god,
footsteps. You know what's coming.
How fucking terrified those guys are of every time they see a shadow, they're just backing up, like how fucking scared they are.
It's just that's something that it nailed that no other Batman anything has ever.
You've never seen people fear Batman that way.
They feared the dark. He is the night. That's
right.
The whole thing. They nailed it.
Am Batman. Oh, sorry, that's Kevin Conroy.
Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, rest in peace. We might have something with him coming up in
true loss. That's with him. Yeah.
True
loss. A true loss.
My only complaint would be the one that some people put towards this movie, which I understand. It doesn't completely take away, but wasn't my favorite Bruce Wayne. I think it was on purpose. He's still kind of young and traumatized about his parents' death. I think he'll develop as he goes.
At least you understand that. A lot of people I've talked to, like, who complain about this movie, they all complain because Bruce Wayne sucks. It's like, bro,
I think
he played the part perfectly. It was exactly what he needed to do.
With the way this movie ended, I think moving forward, you're going to see more of the Bruce Wayne that people are like wanting.
That was what the ending was all about.
This was a lot of year 1 and year 2 Batman. He's not supposed to be experienced.
Yeah, like when that kid took his hand and he led them all out of the water and he helped them get on the, and he watched them all get taken like by like the people that could help them, and he stayed there the whole time.
Which is where it could have ended.
Yeah, and he realized he didn't need to just be vengeance; he could be something more.
No, Corey, the movie needed to go longer,
and
it would have been beautiful.
The movie could have ended there. Yeah, that's another chills. Like fucking when Batman realizes like I don't need to be vengeance. I need to I need to help these people. I need to be more.
There's ways to help these people.
Yeah,
it's more important.
Fucking oh my god, the character development is so good. I mean, I don't get people's complaints. The runtime never felt long to me. There is funny moments like in the way they want to do it, like the little things like thumb drive.
Yeah.
and then fucking I literally laughed out loud in the theaters with the Penguin when they showed the pictures of the murdered victims. Oh, it's gross. Don't show me that. I think the movie's so fucking good.
I did want to point out because you posted like that video of like the intro. Oh. I think that might just be the strongest movie introduction literally ever.
Bro, it set the tone so well. Mike, you were talking about like the first time you watched it, how creeped out you were. Like, okay, someone's watching these people with like breathing. Like that was creepy as fuck.
You're in.
I thought it was
the
Batman
ride from minute one.
Like at first, I thought it was Batman. And
Me too.
And then for a split second, I was like, "Wait, is this Bruce Wayne about to be like?" And then like my mind was just like, "What the fuck am I watching? What is this?"
And then you see fucking Paul Dano's eyes behind when
he's just. Yeah. The guy walks to the side and he's just in the room. It's like,
he's just there. Yeah.
And then you get Batman and it's just so fucking good.
This movie was a brilliant cross between a comic book movie, a detective story, and like a thriller / horror movie. Like it was just really well fucking done.
As my favorite thing about it is it wasn't too much action and it focused a lot on the detective part of Batman.
That was my favorite part of it. Like
detective
I wanted exactly. And I just a year later I want everyone to know that we still all felt the same way. That's why I had to bring that up.
And anybody still saying anything bad about Robert Pattinson,
I haven't heard nearly as much criticism since that movie came out. I think a lot of people realized he really is legit.
But speaking of Colin Farrell, he might be my actor MVP this year because he's in 2 of my favorite movies. This is a smaller one you guys probably haven't seen. Have you heard of The Banshees of Inisherin?
Oh my god, it's good.
Oh, you watched it?
It's on like everybody's. I haven't seen it. It's on like everybody's lists.
I haven't.
I was gonna ask you guys. The movie that, and then the movie Prey. I keep hearing like
Prey is also great.
Yeah. If you want to go in about them a little bit.
So yeah, The Banshees of Inisherin. It's pretty much just like it's kind of a commentary too on the whole war in Ireland and all that shit. But pretty much the general gist is he wakes up one day and his best friend cuts off ties with him, wants nothing to do with him. He has no idea why, but every time he tries to like get a pint with him or something, his friend leaves the room and goes and sits outside. And it gets to the point where his friend tells him like, I don't want to be anywhere near you. You bore me. I want to make art. I want to make music. And like, it gets to the point where he says, every time you talk to me from here on out, I'm going to take my garden shears and I'm going to cut off one of my fingers.
Well, you know what, Adrian? The Golden Globes agree with you. Colin Farrell won his second best actor.
Hell yeah.
For that movie.
I'm going to do this in my top 10 of the year. I'm going to say my actor and actress MVP. So a little sneak peek for our podcast listeners. I'm going to say Colin Farrell's my favorite actor this year and Jenna Ortega, favorite actress. She was in so many great fucking things.
Very nice.
What a year for Jenna Ortega. But yeah, Banshees of Inisherin. It's just a good, solid performance. It's very talky movie. It's not like a lot of high octane action, nothing like that.
A lot of sitting in pubs, long conversation.
Yeah, you have to like the overly talky movies, which I do. It feels like an art house film, and sometimes they feel extremely pretentious. To me, this was great. Good comedy in there, subtle comedy. It's like a black comedy.
Speaking of Barry Keoghan, he's in that as well.
Yeah,
the Joker from the Batman.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And then what was the other one you said? Prey.
Yeah, I've been hearing about Prey.
Corey, you want to touch on
in
Prey
my research for this episode? I keep hearing about it, and it's like, what was this movie?
So prerequisite: You're gonna enjoy this movie a lot more if you're a fan of the Predator series.
Oh, really?
It's a Predator movie.
Oh, okay.
It's very confusing because Predator's not anywhere in it, and the Predator isn't even on most of the
Predator
posters.
is in it. It's in the movie.
So I meant in the title. And the Predator isn't on most of the posters. It's the girl with green paint, but it's actually his blood, the green blood. Doug, if you love the Predator movies or even like them, you're gonna fucking.
I'm a fan.
Okay, well then, this one's set back in the Native American times, like. And they land in they land near a tribe of
Comanche.
I want to say they're pretty brutal Comanche, like brutal Native Americans, like that teach their boys to hunt from the very beginning and teach their women to gather from the very beginning.
Boys are hunters, girls
but the
are
main
gatherers.
Character in the movie doesn't want to be like that. She wants to hunt and she wants to go on the voyages with the men, and she's like a badass. She knows how to fight. Her brother taught her how to do a lot of stuff.
Naru.
But she ends up sneaking off to be part of a group that goes out in the woods to find somebody that didn't come back. And the predators land and just, doing the regular predator thing in the woods. And she ends up having to figure out how to survive. And then she runs into all these like Spaniards or Americans, whatever you want to call them, because they came into America. They have guns and stuff, and it's confusing her, but she had just seen the Predator's fucking shoulder cannon, so really their guns aren't scaring her anymore. But yeah, it's hard to explain, but there's this one thing in the movie she does that just I fucking love is she figures out she's also very innovative, and she figures out that if she ties a rope to her hatchet, she can throw it and then retrieve it by pulling it, and it becomes very vital to her throughout the end of the movie. It's a really she just like cool. Fucking pull it off and catch it and throw it again, pull it off, catch it, throw it again. She's really good at it. She's just a badass.
Okay.
And the Predator is not like, because a lot of people complain, like, before you watch the movie, they're like, how the fuck could this girl kill a fucking predator? The Predator in this movie, while they're behind in the times and she has primitive tools, the Predator also is not fully equipped. It's not like a Predator you see in these later movies.
Not like the Schwarzenegger Predator.
Yeah, because she would have no fucking chance against that thing.
What I got from it, Adrian, and I'm not sure if you also felt this way, I felt like he was a Predator sent to Earth to train to become a warrior.
Yeah, I could see that.
I feel like he was new to it. He was also out there to train, but because he doesn't talk, he couldn't communicate.
And because the times we live in, I'm gonna bring up the term, even though I fucking hate saying it coming out of my own mouth. A lot of people say fucking, oh, woke garbage. A young skinny girl taking out a predator. But like the thing is, if you watch the original Predator, Arnold fucking fist to fist had no chance against the Predator. Like hand to hand, that thing fucked him up. Arnold had to use his smarts to fucking beat the Predator. So even a guy like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you don't beat a Predator by fist fighting it. You just don't.
Well, you could.
Old ass Danny Glover kicked one's ass in the second movie.
Mike, have you seen Predator? He said, I've seen parts.
I actually have seen parts because it was on TV
God
at
damn
work.
it.
Come on, do it.
I think it was the second or third one.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, I think that's the one I saw. Is that the first one?
Yes, that's also where you get the famous meme of like the two arms. Like the two fucking
yeah. Is that where that Danny, you son of a bitch, comes from?
Yeah, exactly. That's
different.
No,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's when Dutch. Yeah, that's when they meet. It's him and Carl Weathers,
and they go like,
yeah.
Okay.
The most muscular hit, bro. Like shake.
Yeah, no, I 100% have seen parts of that movie due to it being on TV at work.
Watch the original
Predator.
Predators.
You've never seen Predator?
No.
Bro, did you just like miss every movie that was from the 80s?
Did you see Predator or The Predator or Predators?
Yeah, have you seen? Have you seen Predator, Predator 2, Predators, the Predator?
Alien vs. Predator Requiem?
Corey, you're not setting me up for a good yes and here.
Oh, right.
He's learning, guys.
He's learning.
Anyway, so I did not realize Prey was a Predator thing, and I like that it went back in time a little bit. That's really cool.
I would have to think about it, but it's perhaps my second favorite Predator movie.
Wow, next to number one.
You're number one? You like it more than Predator?
Wow.
You a one ugly motherfucker.
My biggest complaint with movies like Predator and stuff,
but it's still my number one.
You have bombs and shit. Yeah, it's less than, but like you go back in time like this, and it's like you got to deal with like you have a hand axe and shit. Like that's way more.
All my favorite things, like even the Far Cry games, my favorite one is Primal.
Predator.
Because
it's Predator.
It's Primal because you're a caveman. You use axes and hatchets and bows. And
I actually hate Far Cry for the most part, but Primal.
I
really
love Far
fun to
Cry,
play.
and Primal's still my favorite one.
I do love Far Cry.
I like any games where your base weapons are like handheld things that you have to craft.
So you like Turok?
Did you say Turok? You had giant fucking
Yeah.
guns.
Dinosaur
in Turok.
Hunter.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Oh, well, didn't you start off with just a fucking axe?
No, you had like a
You
laser
hunted
knife and
dinosaurs.
stuff.
It was Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
Yes.
No,
You didn't play
not the-
Turok
That's
at
not
all.
the one I played.
You won for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
Dude, you had all kinds of crazy
I
shit.
could
in
have
those
swore you
games.
started off with just an axe and it was awful.
Maybe you did start with an axe, but it didn't take long.
If our listeners want to hear us not talk about Turok, check out our N64 episode.
Yeah. Hey, I mentioned it.
In passing.
Maybe you did.
I don't remember this. So it was so long ago.
Turok or that episode?
Both. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, did anyone see? Because I forgot this existed until I was looking into this movie, but this came out this year. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
No, goddamn it!
damn
I
it.
want to because I heard so
It's like
many
a
good
stop
things about
motion
it.
movie, and like
Do you know
But
3
it's-
Pinocchio movies came out this year?
And two of them
What?
are terrible.
Everybody's shitting on Disney's
not
Pinocchio,
good.
saying it's one of the worst movies of the year, and everyone's saying Guillermo del Toro's is one of the best movies of the entire
yeah,
year.
like it's on these top lists. It takes place in real world Italy when Benito Mussolini was rising to power, so it's not just
Yeah.
about a little puppet boy. Let's put it that way. Like there's a whole.
Well, yeah, it's
movie
Del
there.
Toro. He has layers.
I
Yeah,
was so sad that the Tom Hanks one sucked. I wanted it to be good so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why did Tom Hanks do that one?
That one's called Geppetto, right?
That's true.
Yeah, that's with Drew Carey.
yeah.
Geppetto.
He plays Geppetto. Yes.
That's what the dude that hosts Price is Right.
No, okay. For us aging millennials, he hosted Whose Line Is It Anyway? Come
Yeah,
on.
that's right.
Hey, the Drew Carey Show was one of my favorite like fucking sitcoms.
Yeah, that show's awesome.
Except Cleveland doesn't rock.
No, unfortunately, I have seen 0 out of 3 Pinocchio movies this year.
Same.
Well, that was the only one I cared to ask about. I was just curious if someone had seen that because I didn't even realize it came out. I remember me and Corey both
Yeah.
saying we were excited for it at like the beginning of the year, and then
I forgot until we
it's
were going to
existed.
do this episode, and I tried to fit it in, but
Here's a bigger question: who here saw Morbius?
me.
You saw Morbius?
Of course
Yeah,
you did.
I've seen it twice.
Was it shit?
It's pretty bad.
You saw it twice?
It was shit, wasn't
Saw
it?
it twice.
You saw Morbius 2 times.
Did you pay for it both times?
Both times.
Oh my god. You're the reason
They're
they're
not.
making a second one.
They're not now.
They're not.
They were going to, weren't they?
They
No,
canceled that
you
idea
know,
really
I did
fast.
see it, and it ended with.
I almost had expectations for that movie, but I dashed to them.
I'm actually going to tell you the end credit scene because who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm never
Morbius
gonna
flies
watch
out
it.
into a field, and Vulture from the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, Michael Keaton, meets him out there in his suit.
So Michael Keaton is transported to this world and they have to let him
Yeah.
out of prison. Like he appears in a cell, and they have to let him go because in this
Yeah.
world he didn't break any laws.
Adrian Toomes
So, like, they
wasn't
have
a
to release
criminal in this world.
Yeah,
How the fuck did he get there?
And he just talks about forming a team or something like that.
for no reason, he just flies out and meets him in a field. He's
Yeah.
like, I think you and I should team out or team up. He's like, I don't know
Team
how
out.
I team out. He's like, I don't know how I got here. I think something involving Spider-Man, but it's so phoned in. Like I don't because his mask is on, his Vulture mask. I don't think Michael Keaton was even there. Like,
No, he was there. He was just high.
Oh, you saw it, Adrian?
oh, I saw it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you saw it.
It felt like a movie that should have. I wouldn't want to watch it, but Corey, do you feel like the pacing was so quick?
Way
no
too
character
fast.
development. I feel like they cut entire scenes. You don't care about any of these fucking characters because they cut
And honestly,
entire
as much as I
scenes.
loved David Tennant and Jared Leto as their characters, was his or Matt Smith? My bad. Matt Smith.
I'll say this: Matt Smith was the only person who knew the movie he was in. He was having a great fucking time.
He was great, and when he was a vampire,
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
he killed it. Like he nailed that part. But like, and their fight was good. Yeah, maybe Their fight was good, but other than that,
It feels like a superhero movie that
trash.
belongs in the early 2000s before they like figured out superhero movies.
Oh, like original Hulk movie.
The girl who helps him was on his side way too fast. The villain in the movie, who ends up being Matt Smith, got the vial of the stuff too fast. Everything just happened way too soon.
It was just and like they slowed down scenes that they could have fast forwarded through. They fast forwarded through scenes they should have focused on that could have developed characters. Like whoever was making this movie, it's like they did it all backwards. I don't get this movie.
There's a couple of funny lines in the movie, but other than that, it's not that great.
I'm so glad I decided not to watch that.
After hearing all these fucking horror stories with Jared Leto, like he's a shitty human.
He runs a cult, dude.
Yeah, well, I know that, but like literally, you heard about like what he did as the Joker and shit. He was sending people like dead animals.
Oh yeah, he's trash, dude.
So in this movie, because his character's like on the walkers, like the leg, what like the crutches. Because he was in the crutches in the movie, he called it he called it method acting. He would take his crutches to the bathroom, which would delay filming. And they had to make a compromise with him that someone would wheelchair him to the bathroom because it was taking too long. He made somebody wheelchair him to the bathroom every time he had to go.
Oh my God.
There's a difference between method acting and being a piece of shit. Jared Leto is just a piece of shit.
He runs a cult, but like not a good one, like a bad one.
All cults are bad, Mike.
No, there are good cults.
Oh, God damn it. Wasn't this
We've
a
had
thing?
this discussion, yes.
I'm like, wait, are you guys going in Culture Shock lore?
We're digging way back.
Morbius fucking sucks. It sucks real bad.
I heard it was a pile of garbage. Like, before it came out, I was letting myself get excited for it. Then I stepped back. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, this is just going to be Venom all over again.
From the creators who brought you Venom, I'm like, fuck.
Well, the first Venom wasn't awful.
No.
It's not awful, but Mike, there's the difference. People know who Venom is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the other
Nobody
major
fucking
difference.
knows who
If you
Morbius
know what
is.
Venom was the movie Venom was supposed to be before it got hacked and slashed down to PG-13, you would know it was a pile of garbage.
Tom Hardy was pissed about that too.
Morbius would also benefit
Yes.
from being rated R. If you're going to make any movie rated R in this series, like blood-sucking killer vampires that bite people in the neck, like this probably would have been a good, or Venom as
the guy
well.
that
Yeah.
kills things.
Black Adam was almost rated R. Did you know that?
No.
I'm pretty sure Black Adam was almost rated R.
This Sony Spider-Man universe is in big trouble.
It's always been in big trouble.
To me, these last two movies are making me think Venom's not that bad. Because it's like Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Morbius. To me, it keeps going down.
All right. I haven't got to see this yet, but I'm really excited to. Has anyone seen Weird, the Al Yankovic story?
No.
It's a mockumentary that's also true.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I heard.
Yeah, well, Weird Al plays his manager that discovered Weird Al.
Yeah.
But so he's in a scene as his man. Weird Al's in a scene where he's talking to Daniel playing Weird Al. It's so fucking
I
ridiculous.
want to see it, but I'm not the biggest
I've heard
Weird
it's
Al
great.
fan,
I've heard it's
so
great.
it won't mean as much to me.
Oh, okay,
probably.
I'm a big Weird Al fan. I love.
Here's
Weird
what
Al.
I've heard. I love Weird Al too. So
Well, it's a comedy. It's not just it's not really a biography.
That's why
They
I
make
want
fun
to see
of
it.
It's not true.
yeah, none of it's actually true. Like it's very embellished, and there's a lot of things that aren't like.
There are truths sprinkled through it.
Yes. Like the fact that Madonna's like in the whole movie, like they literally worked on like one song together.
Or like he was just like the thing about him being recording his first song like in a bathroom somewhere is true.
Yeah, no,
that happened.
There's elements of truth sprinkled in.
Yeah, it's literally like 5% truth,
20% skill.
It's just like
15% concentrated power of will.
45% concentrated power of Weird Al.
Power of Weird Al. So I like you have heard really good things about it, but if you're expecting like an actual biography, don't you're not going to enjoy it if that's what you're expecting. As the resident Ryan Reynolds fan, did any of you see the Atom Project?
I did not see it.
No,
I've actually heard it's a pretty decent movie. I hear the kid keeps up pretty well with him, like chemistry wise.
Yes,
the kid does good.
Well, I mean, he's got to try to act like Ryan Reynolds because it's literally his younger self.
Yeah.
And Doug, that's a movie I know you'd love because it's about time travel.
Doug loves anything time travel.
That's what we all know.
Dragon Ball Z, Back to the Future.
I'm open to anything time travel.
He likes it all,
okay?
guys.
Just because I happen to tend to like it doesn't mean anything.
Looper, that's Doug's favorite movie of all time.
It's okay.
Also Ryan Johnson, I'm pretty sure, right?
Hey, Looper isn't the biggest pile of trash I've ever seen, but it definitely wasn't good. It was okay.
There was a moment in the movie where Ryan Reynolds uses something that looks like a lightsaber, and he said he did that specifically because
No, that's
he's
Fall
always
Guy.
one. He said he did that.
Adrian,
he did that, and
you just said
like,
Fall
in
Guy.
Free Guy.
That's a video game.
He did that
Fall Guys.
specifically because he said he's always wanted to be in a Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah.
Ryan Reynolds has no part in a Star Wars movie.
No, I just saying it had a good cast too. It's got Jennifer Gardner, Mark Ruffalo, and
Oh, damn.
Zoe Saldana.
Damn, that's a really good cast.
Yeah.
And that's like a Netflix movie?
Yeah. So every single person in this movie, other than the child, that's on the poster, was a Marvel character at one point.
Wow. Well, you know that kid, he has a bright future. He's going to be in a Marvel movie.
Hey, that's money.
He's the next Iron Man.
That's money, yeah. He's the next Iron Man.
Okay. Oh, okay. There's a shitty Netflix movie I watched in 2022. Okay. That I do. I'll just talk shit on it real quick. So there's this Netflix series called Woo Assassins. It was pretty low budget, but I loved it, and it got canceled. And then for some reason they dropped a movie for it in 2022, and it was the worst pile of garbage I think I've ever seen.
What's the movie called? Woo Assassins?
Woo Assassin's Fistful of Vengeance. It's such a pile of shit. The show itself was pretty fun and I enjoyed it, but the movie, they made a movie to finish
love
it
that
up
that's
and it
what
was
Doug's
so
saying.
bad.
Like all these great movies.
Yeah, that's what I saw this year. Well, no, because I watched the show and it got canceled like 2 years
That's just
ago,
the
and then
air
I just
escaping.
found out that they dropped a movie to wrap it up, and so I was like excited and watched it, and it was garbage.
Corey's not on time, but we still do have a limited time. Let Corey and I, real quick, talk about our little horror corner here because we have to get him in.
How was Barbarian? I've heard really good things.
Yeah, let's start with the good. Barbarian was fucking awesome.
Yes, a lot of unexpected things happen in that
Yeah,
movie.
if you're a person who's like watching movies, we've watched a lot of movies, and you're like, I know where this is going.
Not
I
even
promise
close.
you don't know where it's fucking going.
You could not guess what happens in that movie.
Yeah, so Barbarian is set up in such a weird 3-act structure. In a lot of movies, it would not work because you have this whole first act of it feels like an Airbnb horror movie where this girl goes to a house that's double booked. Someone's already staying there, and it's fucking Bill Skarsgård who's Pennywise the Clown.
Yeah,
I love Bill Skarsgård.
I do too. And it's double booked. So the first thing, like, you're seeing the movie through her perspective. So it's like, would you really go in a fucking random house at midnight, 1 a.m.?
in a completely dark neighborhood other than that house.
A terrible neighborhood, yeah. So you think this whole movie's like, okay, I see where this is going. It's this guy might be a creep, he might not. And then fucking smash cut, something happens, and the movie fucking starts over from a different perspective. You see Justin Long singing a song in a convertible.
And this is after about 35 minutes of opening. It cuts to Justin Long.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It cuts to Justin Long out of nowhere. And then he's just fucking, his life gets changed because of allegations.
He's an actor, and a movie his part in a movie's getting canceled because of allegations. And it was all he had going for him. He was super happy about it, and then he just out of nowhere got bummed.
Yeah. And then the whole second act of this movie is focused on Justin Long's character and what kind of a shitty person he is. He plays a good asshole.
Yes, he does.
Justin Long, I've never hated him, I think, more than watching this movie.
For the first 10 minutes you're with Justin Long, you think, well, she's lying. He obviously didn't do this. And then he's at a bar with his buddy, and the guy goes, so tell me, man, on the low, did you actually do it? And he says, well, I didn't necessarily do it. She said no a few times, but then she kind of just laid there. So you realize...
Yeah. He's like, at first she said no. He's like, but then she was like into it, like really
you realize
into it.
at that point, okay, he is kind of a dickhead. He's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah. And Doug, by the way, the guy who made this movie is Zach Kreger from The Whitest Kids You Know.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And he made a hell of a movie.
Wow.
He has a cameo. He's his friend at the bar.
What a genre swap.
Jordan Peele, man, they do it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, these comedy guys are getting into horror, and I think both genres, like, they kind of match in a way that it's all about timing. Comedy, you got to plan out that big laugh. Horror, you got to plan out that big scare, like that payoff moment.
Horror
that
building up
makes
to
sense.
a death is a punchline, just like a joke. So the structure is the same thing.
Okay, Joker.
But Barbarian, I don't want to tell you too much. Definitely fucking a wild ride. You never know where it's going. One of my favorite horror movies of the year.
Yeah, I keep hearing about it. And like the title just doesn't scream horror, so it's like, what? It's a horror movie?
I didn't know it was a horror movie before I looked into watching it, honestly.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think the barbarian is meant to be a certain character in the movie. Plus, like the Airbnb they're at is on Barbary Street, so I think it's a play on that.
Oh, okay.
All right, Corey. What? Real quick, let's get into it. I want to hear your thoughts. We're going to do this very short. Corey and I could still do a future episode on this, maybe next Halloween. But let's talk about the finale of the Blumhouse David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy.
Oh, I heard it was
Halloween
excellent.
I've heard it literally shifted paradigms.
That's a very generous way of putting it.
I also heard that it picked up where the last one left off.
That's again, Mike, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's actually wrong.
I love how you were right one time. And you could have been right twice, but didn't say it.
All right, Corey. In a nutshell version.
In a nutshell, it's been 4 years since the last one ended, Mike, to answer your question. And Michael,
Yeah. All three of these movies were meant to take place in the same night, and then COVID happened, and they completely rewrote this movie. And I don't know what the fuck they were doing.
They probably had COVID while they wrote it.
at the end of the second one, Michael gets beaten down in the street, so he's kind of not feeling so great.
And the whole thing about Halloween Kills is like the dangers of mob mentality, what it can do to us. But at the end, they beat the fuck out of
him, but then he ends up killing all of them and going into hiding. It's been 4 years, and Laurie's trying to move on with her life, and Cassie's trying to move on with her life. And
to non-Halloween fans, Laurie is Jamie Lee Curtis. Allison is her granddaughter.
Oh, I said Cassie. I meant Allison.
So she was in a great movie and a bad movie this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. But the movie starts with what should be the titular character, Corey.
Corey Cunningham.
Corey Cunningham. He's a babysitter. He's a kid in high school. He's about to graduate. He's going to go to a college or something. He's just babysitting this shitty little fucking Tommy kid.
Jeremy. Fuck that kid.
He's such a little fucking dick. Like, I would hate to babysit this kid. But anyway, he pulls a prank on him where he pretends like he's locked in the upstairs attic. And or he's screaming from upstairs in the attic. Corey runs up the steps, three flights of spiral staircase in his big rich house, runs into the attic, and this kid locks him in the attic. And he's laughing about it. And Corey Cunningham apparently is claustrophobic because he's like freaking out, hitting the door. And as it's happening, the parents are getting home from the party they were at, and they walk in. He gets the door kicked open, knocks the kid off the 3-story balcony. And Jesus Christ, the camera angle of watching the parents walk in, it watches this kid hit the ground and flop up and smack his face back on the ground.
He falls.
You see the whole damn thing. It's so fucking bad.
That's hilarious.
The parents walk in and they're like, the first thing they hear is Corey up at 3 stories. He says, "I'm going to kill you, Jeremy." And then the kid falls 3 floors and just fucking.
This is 4 years later as well. Corey got out of prison.
Classic comedy.
And he's now hated by the whole town because he's a kid killer, you know.
Well, Corey was never in prison. They deemed it an accident.
Everybody hates him because he's a kid killer, even though he didn't actually do it. And it's the kid's fault. I'm going to say that right now. I don't care if that's kid blaming or whatever. He was a dick.
Hey, fuck that kid.
Doug doesn't even know yet, but already knows.
The whole point of the
fuck
movie
that kid.
is Corey actually starts to kind of fall into the everybody hating him and kind of wants to get revenge on all the bullies. And he finds Michael under the bridge in this tunnel. And this is where the movie gets really fucking bad.
Michael's hiding in a
This
sewer.
is where the movie gets really fucking bad because the first part of it's kind of compelling.
Michael has to hide somewhere.
Wait, 2 notes here. The bullies in this movie, Corey now is a 22-year-old, and the bullies are a high school marching band.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my second note is you don't see Michael in this movie for about 48 minutes.
When you do, he's hiding.
So wait,
He's hiding.
Michael is Pennywise?
He's been hiding.
He's been hiding from the end of his
Yeah, for 4 years after being
movie.
beaten to death, almost to death.
Mike, do you like it so far?
When Corey finally
sounds
does go
great.
into the tunnel, he brings him a homeless person to kill, by the way. Down goes into the tunnel. He looks at Michael, and it turns out Michael's still like trying to get over his injuries. It's been 4 fucking years, and he's still trying to get over these injuries.
I told you it picked up where the last one left off.
That's why you go to the hospital, people.
Oh, and the best part is Michael grabs him by the throat through this like hole, and he looks in Corey's eyes, and he lets him go for some reason. Like it's still not clear if he like transfers his evil to him or he like sees something in Corey and he lets him go.
Then they go on a montage of killing together.
Yeah, they team up like Batman and Robin.
Is it played to Cyndi
Then
Lauper's time
Corey
after time?
wants to do the killing on his own, so he goes down and wrestles the mask away from Michael and beats him.
He beats up Michael and puts him on the ground. The kid that just got
they got locked in an attic from a child
and got beat up by high school marching band bullies. They beat him up. He goes down in the sewer, pins Michael to the ground, takes his mask and says, "You're just a man in a mask," and takes his mask from him.
Did he melt like a snowman after his magic mask was taken off? Sorry, Corey.
By the way, this is Michael from Halloween Kills that just killed an entire mob of people.
All that bullshit aside, the rest of the movie's okay to me. It ends okay. It ends in a very happy, I don't want to say happy, that's wrong, but it ends in a very resolved way where you feel like it's over.
Halloween ends.
So it does in fact.
They literally showed Michael die in a way that he cannot come back.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah. It would take a lot of super glue.
But now they have Corey.
No, they don't.
All the King's Horse and all the King's Men managed to put Michael Myers' career back together again.
They spent 2 hours developing Corey Cunningham as the new Michael, and at the end of the movie, Corey stabs himself in the fucking neck with a knife.
Throughout the movie, as a matter of fact, he falls in love with Allison, who is Laurie Strode's niece or granddaughter.
Yeah. By the way, the first hour of this movie is like a grungy, edgy love story between Allison and Corey. It's not a horror movie.
And he wants Allison to be away from his grandma or her grandma so much that he hears her pull up and he decides, I'm going to stab myself in the throat. And she's going to think that her grandma did this.
All right, question for you then, Adrian.
Yeah.
The first act of this movie or the first act of Rob Zombie's first Halloween? Which one?
Oh God.
Well, no.
That's not fair.
No. I knew he hated them both. So
I hate that fucking kid. My name's Michael Myers. I hate that fuck. And then what's his name? Ronnie fucking. I'll come over and skull fuck the shit out of you.
Sounds like Rob Zombie.
The first act of this movie is more watchable to me.
Okay.
I
just need to know what level of bad this is.
The other 2/3 of Rob Zombie's Halloween, I don't hate. It's a decent remake. But that first act was fucking dog shit.
Just the beginning of this movie sounded similar.
Rob Zombie's movie is more bearable overall.
The worst thing about this movie is all of the marketing was set up to be Michael versus Laurie. That's what all the trailers were. And that is about
two other characters.
And Michael versus Laurie is about 6 minutes of this movie.
It was the Corey Cunningham story.
Really. Literally all everything about this these three movies that were coming to finish everything.
Yeah,
everything has been a build up to a final showdown between Jamie Lee Curtis and whoever the fuck plays Michael
James
Myers.
Jude Courtney. He's amazing.
Showdown.
Yeah.
No.
Has he always been the one?
No, just for this trilogy, he's great.
There's not a lot to that role.
There's been about 8. There's been about 8. Yeah, more than you think. There's been about 8.
Well, yeah. It's all about how you walk and carry yourself mostly.
Yeah, the physicality, right?
Yeah, which is a skill. You're right. I was being a dick. I'm wrong.
Right. That's why everybody loves Kane Hodder as Jason.
Yeah.
Because of his physicality.
Wow. I can't believe they did all this build up and then just blue balled.
Yeah, it was an hour-long love story between two characters you really don't give a shit about.
No.
Corey gets a couple fun kills, but the best kills in this movie are by Corey. Michael has 3 kills in this entire movie.
Once Corey puts the mask on and starts stalking
it's pretty good.
There's a lot of really good kills.
There's this one scene where this radio DJ runs his mouth a lot, so Corey smashes his face off the turntables, and the dude's face is all fucked up. He takes out a pair of scissors and cuts his tongue off.
Ooh.
And as he's walking out, it's rolling around and skipping the record player with the tongue on there. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. He put one of the high school bullies, he pins to the ground and blowtorches their face.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's some great kills in the last 20 minutes of the movie.
I say, oh, that's awesome. And Mike's eyes is like, whoa.
I mean, I like fire.
Fire.
The torching the kid's face off part there.
Halloween Ends was the weirdest fucking decision of how to end a trilogy I've ever seen. It could have worked. I said this in my review. If this was Corey Cunningham's story, a Haddonfield Tales, if it had nothing to do with Michael, it could have worked as an anthology.
Or even call it Halloween Ends and have it be Corey's story for the first half of the movie. Then he dies. And Michael's strong again.
I'm clearly not as into Halloween movies as you guys are, but as like a longtime fan of the franchise, I don't even think I like the idea of making someone else take up the mantle, quote unquote, because that just doesn't make any sense.
Especially when they're tag teaming people.
Yeah,
like they're BFFs.
The whole fucking ever since the very first movie, it was all about like the evil that is Mike Myers.
He's evil for no reason.
Not just like it wasn't some like bullshit passing of the torch moment.
Yeah, Michael doesn't fucking.
I don't like that.
Michael doesn't stand beside anybody and not kill them. If he sees someone, he kills them. Like,
I just want to mention two more horror movies that are on my list before we get. X was a very, very good movie.
Love X.
I didn't see Pearl yet, which kills me.
Ooh,
but I heard Pearl's also very good. And the Black Phone,
very different movie,
was also very good.
So X and Pearl are A24 horror films that both came out this year. X is like a grungy 70s. It has a Texas Chainsaw feel, but it's like these people trying to make like a porno movie. And
I wanted to see that actually.
It's great.
I love fucking X. It'll be on my X and Pearl together will be on my best of. It's kind of a cheat because they're two movies, but they both came out this year. Pearl is the prequel about the villain from X. Both of them, it's Mia Goth. It's like more of a character study, so it's a slower build. But I love both of those movies so much. A24 is very hit or miss for me. Sometimes they're very pretentious and like artsy fartsy. But I love both of those movies.
They've been doing a lot of good stuff lately.
Yeah, The Black Phone is Stephen King's son made a short story, Joe Hill. It's about Ethan Hawke. This movie was adapted from the short story.
Oh my God, it's Ethan Hawke.
Oh my God, it's Ethan Hawke. Yeah, so Ethan Hawke plays like the grabber, which is
amazing.
A great fucking instantly iconic character. He's like this guy in Colorado that like kidnaps children. He's a child snatcher. And this one kid gets captured and he has to escape. And really well done. Really well done. We don't have time to get fully into those, but that's just a recap. But if you love horror and you haven't seen any of those movies, watch Barbarian, X, Pearl. I can't wait for Maxine. Watch The Black Phone.
I want to see that too.
What, The Black Phone?
It's great.
Yeah.
Definitely watch that. Terrifier 2, watch it if you love fucking over-the-top gore.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one. Fuck, Terrifier 2 was amazing.
I just know Chris Jericho's in that.
He is. Yeah, Art the Clown is like the new horror icon, I think. He's like this mimed clown who's insanely violent, but he's also hilarious. He doesn't talk. But he has the best, like he comes up behind a girl with a little honk honk. Every time they look at him, he's like,
it's so good.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But if gore even turns your stomach a little bit, this one's going to straight up throw it out of your stomach because
this is the movie people said were like passing out and throwing up in theaters. And that was legitimate.
I've never understood that.
I've never been that way either.
Me neither. I love that.
But there's people that probably went in squeamish.
If you don't know what you're getting into, it's rough.
I have friends that were like in Saw 2 when she fell in those needles. I had to stop watching. Yeah. Like, bro, it's a movie.
And then I'll tell you guys real quick because probably none of you care. But there's this one movie I'm still unsure about. It's called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Get ready to do a heavy sigh. It's got Pete Davidson in it. Because the world seems to hate Pete Davidson right now. So this is pretty much like all the stereotypes of Gen Z characters at one of their family's mansion. So it's like insufferable characters. But it's like a murder. It's like murder mystery where one of them slowly they die off one by one, and fucking they're all like, they're all getting paranoid and accusing each other. And Pete Davidson was the first one to die. They probably did that intentionally. But what happens is they see him dead by the pool, and there's like a sword beside him, like because in the house they had like a katana, and they see a sword with blood. And at the end of the movie, it's so funny because the last two girls, it's revealed they pick up his phone. And he was trying to make a fucking TikTok where he fucking like took the top of a wine bottle off with the sword and he stabbed himself in the neck and killed himself. And because he killed himself, they all got paranoid and started killing each other.
Oh my God.
That's actually really funny.
It's genius. But the characters are insufferable.
So it's like Dead by Daylight. Or not Dead by Daylight, Until Dawn, the game.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But it's so funny that this whole plot is taken off by they thought someone murdered Pete Davidson because you see this other guy in the movie is like jealous of him, so they think and he went missing. So they're like, oh, he definitely killed him. And Pete Davidson, they show the TikTok, he's fucking trying. He stabs himself in the neck.
That's awesome.
You gotta slightly twist the sheath, or else the katana doesn't come out of the sheath.
Oh my God!
But hey. Don't cut your head off, kids.
And then the last one before we wrap up here for me is, Doug, this is probably the second weirdest movie I've seen under Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
So this is called Crimes of the Future. Viggo Mortensen's in it.
Oh,
So this is pretty much like in the future that there's like this civilization that they feel no pain. Like, and Viggo and that kind of fucks with their other senses, like feeling pleasure with sex and stuff like that. It's also Cronenberg, who's the master of body horror.
Kristen Stewart's in that.
Yeah. So Viggo Mortensen stars in it, and pretty much
Mike, he just said they don't feel any pain, so she can exist there.
she can show no emotion. So he pretty much figures out that he has the ability. So they do surgery and shit with people while they're awake, no problem and shit. And he figures out that he has the ability to regrow organs. So like him and Kristen Stewart put on like this fucking show for people where he's like regrowing organs. It's a weird fucking movie. You like Viggo Mortensen if you like body horror, because this is fucking David Cronenberg after all. It's a weird movie, but yeah, Crimes of the Future.
Interesting. That's an interesting one.
You can watch it on Hulu.
There's clearly no purpose to that movie other than it just is what it is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm down with that.
Well, it's a movie.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. All right. So before we finish off, top 3 movies of the year and your most hated movie of the year. Mike, we'll start with you.
The top 3, honestly, the Batman.
In order. Please.
Oh, in order? Shit. The Batman.
He said, well, in that case.
3 or 1? Is that 3 or 1?
That's 1.
Okay.
So
your favorite movie of the year is The Batman. Okay.
Top Gun Maverick, and it's gonna be weird to say this. I really enjoyed it. I think Black Adam for me. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that sequel. Oh wait.
Yeah. I know. It's a major bummer, but it
James
is what it
is.
is.
Pissing me off too. Don't worry.
Okay, Mike. And then was there a movie you hated this year? Like,
and your least favorite movie of the year,
or least favorite if there's not one that you hated.
Favorite? It's probably definitely. I didn't really hate it. Like I could watch it, but it just was really disappointing when we talked about it. The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Okay, fair.
Okay. Corey.
Yeah. I want to do a honorable mention 4 and 5 because I had a hard time with this list.
I love it.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is number 4. It just fell off my top 3. And 5 is Multiverse of Madness, even though Adrian seems to hate it so much. But it was my favorite Marvel movie of the year.
Oh, he is 180 on his opinion so hard. He dislikes it. I think actively dislikes that movie.
All right, Corey, just start over now with number 5.
I can't do that because
go up.
You two are going to be happy.
Oh,
but my number 1 is obviously the Batman. It's gonna be the Batman movies. Just they're my thing. Like
the movie is so good.
My second favorite movie of all time, leading up to, was probably The Dark Knight. And you know what? The Batman may have taken its place at this point.
I'm glad you finally admitted that. I've been waiting for you to come to that.
The truth will set you free.
I found this year when I wanted to watch a Batman movie, that was the one that went on instead of Dark Knight.
Now, is there a single performance in the Batman that's as good as Heath Ledger? I don't know. But as a collective...
I think they're on par.
Yeah, but Heath Ledger's... His role is fucking iconic.
Heath Ledger's Joker is my absolute favorite character to ever be on a screen. But the Batman overall is a more enjoyable movie for me. 2, and I know you guys aren't going to agree with this, but Bullet Train was probably my second favorite movie of the year. I've watched it like 3 times. It's hilarious.
I've heard a lot of good things about that
It's the same guy that did Deadpool 2 and John Wick.
It looks good. Like, how can that be bad?
Hey, let me tell you something. Spiderhead came out this year. It starred Chris Hemsworth, Miles Teller. It was the director of Top Gun Maverick, and it was the writers of Deadpool 2 and Zombieland. That movie was bad.
Because they went outside their genre, though.
Bullet Train just looked like it was a good time, like, to be honest.
Bullet Train? It is. And it made it made Aaron Taylor Johnson immediately a front runner for James Bond. You'll know what I mean when you see it, but he's front runner.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hop aboard the Bullet Train.
I just remember sitting in theaters. For the Batman, and the trailer for Bullet Train came on or whatever, or maybe it was Multiverse Madness, and I was like, that movie looks amazing.
Well, they both were, in my opinion. And my number 3 is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
Wow.
I thought you weren't going to put it in your top 3, man. I was going to be sad.
I struggled whether that or Unbearable Weight was in number 3 spot.
I was going to ask you have Everything Everywhere All at Once above Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
It's a better movie overall, but as a Marvel fan...
Not a single Marvel movie made it in your top 3.
No Marvel movie was top 3 this year, but I loved all the Marvel movies that were made this year, even Love and Thunder.
If this was last year, Spider-Man might have been
Maybe,
up there.
My guess is you guys probably will have one 2023 because the new Ant-Man
It
movie
looks
looks pretty
fucking
sick.
awesome. So
It's looking really good. Like every trailer makes it look.
when
a
we
little
do
better.
this
I'm, like,
episode
really
next
shocked.
year, it's going to be a hard time not having either Guardians 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh yeah, Guardians 3
It's going to be
too.
a great
Next
year.
year's gonna be a good year for Marvel. Yeah.
Oh, Corey, what was one that you hated? Or your worst movie?
I had 4 I super hated this year. Halloween Ends, because we already talked about it. Morbius, because we already talked about it. Jurassic World Dominion was fucking terrible.
Oh God,
Those movies
I
suck.
wanted it to
We
be
didn't even
good,
get to
though.
that.
I wanted it to be good. So
Don't even need to.
And that horror movie they made with the Grinch, the mean one,
oh, you saw that?
I wanted it to be entertaining, but it just wasn't.
Oh God, they actually tried that. Oh, quick question, Adrian.
Yeah.
On Christmas horror movies, how was Violent Night?
Fun as hell.
I'm so mad I haven't seen that
I
yet.
just heard it was pretty good.
David Harbour was meant to play
He's
this
a
version
great
of Santa.
actor. He's a
Yeah.
great actor.
It's one of those movies. As soon as you see him, you're just like, this
Yeah.
makes sense. This was meant to happen. How did this not happen sooner?
Okay, so it's my turn. Well, I haven't seen a lot, so this should be easy.
He said, well, I haven't seen a lot.
I already know Doug's list. He hasn't even said it yet.
All right, then what is it?
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, The Batman, and whatever that Netflix movie is that you said.
No. That's my least. That's my most hated movie. That's the shittiest movie of the year. Is Fistful of Vengeance.
Do you have a 3?
I forgot what my number 3 was. Fuck, what was it?
It wasn't that important.
No,
What-
it was.
Was it Lightyear? Sonic the
Multiverse
Hedgehog
of
2?
Madness.
I haven't seen either of those. Like I enjoyed. Like I loved Multiverse of Madness. I loved Multiverse of Madness, but it's not like I don't know. It's not like one
While
of the best
Doug's
movies
thinking
I've
of
ever seen
this,
or anything,
I'm going to
but-
go through a couple that I wanted to mention in my best of that I'm not going to give any
Yeah, do
details for
that.
these. These are just movies I loved.
I cannot remember.
I loved
what I was gonna
Elvis.
say.
That movie was great.
Yeah, Austin Butler did
I've
great.
heard that was great.
Tom Hanks is a fucking dick.
Black Adam's actually fallen down for me a little bit. I don't love it as much as I did the first couple times I saw it.
I knew it would.
The Northman
knew it
was a
would.
great movie. I suggest that for anybody who likes old, like barbarian type stuff.
Robert Eggers probably his most relatable
Yeah, no,
movie.
Okay, it was Multiverse of Madness is probably my number 3 of the year. Like I did really enjoy that movie.
Jackass Forever, because I'm a longtime Jackass fan.
Yeah.
I
Is
loved
it-
it.
was
The
it
new
good?
guys, the new people they brought in was actually
Was
they're
it?
actually all
Okay.
really good. Hustle with
All right,
Adam
all right,
Sandler.
all right.
I thought that was a very good movie.
Yeah. It's like a modern Rocky with a basketball player instead of a boxer.
He does love like legit love basketball.
He
so-
takes a basketball court with him everywhere he goes. And the other one, one of my favorite Marvel projects of the year that doesn't get talked about enough is Werewolf by Night. It's a great fucking Marvel production. It's on Disney Plus. It's called Werewolf by Night.
What?
It's about a werewolf and a league of it's this guy who turns into a werewolf, but you don't know that at the time, and he is Man-Thing's friend.
Doug didn't know
It's
this
called-
existed.
Yeah, like fuck. I'm starting to actually fall behind on. Damn,
Doug, to be fair, it's easy to fall behind on Marvel.
there's so much. I'm beginning to hit that level of I'm starting to feel overwhelmed.
There's so much.
Check it out though, because it actually is. It's way different than anything else
Okay.
Marvel did.
Shit, dude.
Adrian might even enjoy that one because it's a lot of monster stuff.
I never should have let myself fall behind to begin with. It's so hard.
All
to
right, so
catch
real
up.
quick, I'll just run through mine, and then we'll wrap this bitch up.
Oh, and my least favorite, most hated movie of the year is easily Wu Assassin's Fistful of Vengeance. For the one other person that might know what that is,
One guy's like, yeah, fuck that movie.
It was a horribly disappointing way to end a series that was pretty fun. It's not like a life-changing thing, but it's hot garbage trash. Anyway,
And I haven't seen The Whale yet, but I'm sure it would be on my list.
I don't know if I'm going to like that movie.
I know I'm going to cry the whole time. So.
Like, I'm sure it's a good movie, but I don't know if it's my kind of
So
thing.
The Whale's like Brendan Fraser gives one of the best performances I've seen, but the female character, his daughter in the movie, is such a shitty character. I don't think there's much to love about the movie other than Brendan Fraser, but it was good. It was definitely emotional.
Well, isn't it about a dude that's just like super fucking fat?
There's a lot more to it than that, but
Yeah,
And it causes problems in his life and everybody else around
yeah.
him.
There's like a broken relationship with him and his daughter, and you just have to watch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, So I'm going to do top 5 as well, but I'm going to speed through them, not give reasons, because it would take me a half hour to talk about why these top 5.
Yeah, we've been skipping reasons for a reason.
Also, I have to fit a horror in, so actually 6 is Barbarian. I love that movie.
God damn it, Adrian.
5, I had to one-up Corey. Yep, number 5 is Glass Onion. Watch that movie. Like I said, that's one I didn't spoil in this because I want you guys to see it.
Yeah, I do need to watch
Number
it.
4, Top Gun Maverick. Number 3 is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent because it was my favorite comedy of the year. And we're really struggling for decent comedies in today's age. So when I see a comedy that makes me laugh out loud, it's got to rank high. Number 2.
How was Clerks 3? Was that last year?
It was okay.
It was okay. It was this year. Number 2 is The Batman. Number 1 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. The worst movie this year, of course, I'm going to do an honorable mention. The second one was Me Time with Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg. This was the worst comedy of the year. Dick jokes, masturbation jokes, poop jokes, fart jokes. Somehow some points they tried to make it a kid's movie. Other times they made it an adult movie with the worst fucking 2-year-old jokes, juvenile jokes. And number 1 was Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Fuck that movie. I was so excited after Jeepers Creepers 3 was terrible, and they got rid of Victor Salva, who's a child molesting piece of shit. Got a new team of people to make this movie. Had a budget of like $7. Everything was green screen terribly. The creeper looked like a fucking piece of shit. Fuck them, die.
Jeepers Creepers was never like a great franchise.
I'll talk about that more in my worst of list. Yes, it's going to be number 1.
Like the first one's pretty cool.
The first one's awesome. Second one was a fine sequel.
Wasn't Justin Long in that?
Yes, he was.
He made it through one whole movie.
Bringing it back. Wow, you really got passionate about that Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Stay tuned for my worst of 2022.
All right, but
where's that gonna be?
Any last things anyone wants to mention before we wrap things up?
2022 was a strong-ass year of movies. Of course, there's a couple stinkers like there is every year. Look forward to my top 5 worst, top 5 disappointing, and top 10 movies of 2022 coming out at some point in 2023. You can see those on Baker Reviews on youtube.com/Baker Reviews.
Baker Reviews.
Thank you as always, Mike.
Corey, where can everybody come tell us their thoughts on our lists, how wrong we are, how right we are, what
anybody wants to come and argue with any of us, I'll pass it along to the guys.
Oh, and I'll argue.
On Facebook, it's Culture Shock Podcast. On Instagram, it's Culture Shock 21. And on Twitter, where I do most of my work, it's CS Podcast 21.
I guess that's going to do it for us. From all of us at Culture Shock, thanks for listening.
Movies are cool.